show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Lining up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Saturday Night Bottom, aggressive new show with lesbianery. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna, Tracy, and Thea's full volume today. Today we're going to chill out. Well, not too much chilling out, to be honest with you, because some of these stories are kind of serious. But it's not going to be as heavy as tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to have to jump right back into that BS that happened Friday. So y'all stay tuned to that. Before we even get started, as Anna already probably says, do not forget to hit that like and share this. Please and thank you with all our love. Please do not forget to hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. Have to understand with every like that we get, the algorithm of YouTube will suggest our video for more people to watch. The more people that watch, the more we can get our messaging out to the people who really needs to hear this stuff, whether you want to or not. Mickey had to come on and said, I found you. You can't get rid of me that easy. Mickey, I was the one that told you, reminded you that we had a show tonight. So I don't know where you going with this.
She's talking about yesterday's show.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. I did. I really did. It was a pop-up show. But that's the other reason why we say like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you will get notifications, which just went out the door. Complex Bias said another time it didn't pop up on me and I had to go look for the show, been on my timeline all day shaking my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's from Thea's, and for some reason I concur, and I'll tell you why, because I have to watch the show from my other site. It will not show up on my front page till like 45 minutes before the start of the show. And when I go to my own page and look it up, it won't show it at all. So I have to wait until it pops up. So it is what it is. Hey, Thea is now the first one to pop up when I get to YouTube. Oh, okay. Well, it's just us, Thea's.
For me too.
They don't want us to watch our show.
I get notifications just fine.
Apparently, they just don't want us to see the show.
Usually it's there. Like it was sitting on my timeline on YouTube all day. But now that it's actually on, I had to go to my subscriptions to get it. But Facebook was nice enough to tell me you were live.
Facebook is very good at it. Facebook will pop up. YouTube is kind of like, Yeah, we just don't want you to see it. So, hello, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hello, Susan. We missed you last night.
Good
So,
morning.
well,
Oh, yeah,
good
good
morning.
morning to her. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. That is true.
All right, well, without further ado, let's get this party started. So we're going to try to make this as quick as we can because Tracy has been fighting for the cause, walking all day, marching, getting on blowhorns, yelling at people, and all
No.
that other good stuff. So we're going to have to make this as quick as we possibly can, which funny. So we're going to try to move through this as quick as we can. So we're just going to jump right on into it, and that is, am I the a-hole? So surprisingly enough, the first story is actually about the situation that happened Friday. And the funny thing about it is I wanted to have this story because this is a prime example of what's to come. I guarantee you this is surely the prime example of what's to come in the future.
I got to step away.
Okay.
Buttholes. Am I the butthole for reminding my girlfriend it was her decision to have an abortion? Hi Reddit, this situation is getting out of hand, so I thought I'd ask here. I, a 25-year-old male, have dated my girlfriend, a 25-year-old female, for 6 years now. About 5 months into our relationship, I got her pregnant. This is in spite of the fact that I wore protection. We were only 19, so I thought she'd come to her senses and decide to abort. However, she slowly began to warm to the idea of keeping the child and raising it. I tried very hard to show her the other side. My parents contacted her to voice their disapproval of keeping the baby, but this didn't sway her. So then I contacted her parents, and they sided with me. This swayed my girlfriend a bit more. Ultimately, it was only when I told her that I would leave her if she kept the baby that she agreed. Now, this wasn't me abandoning responsibility, but rather it was me stating my boundaries. If she wanted to bring a kid into our lives, then I would walk away. I'd pay whatever support was necessary, but she would be making a decision that alienated lots of people. It wasn't just about her. We've stayed together since. However, these past few months, she's been acting different. She started bringing up this abortion and asking why I was so against it. Then, the other day, she goes crazy. She asked me why I didn't support her and that it was a mistake to have an abortion. I then reminded her it was your decision to have an abortion. We all said our piece, but don't blame this on anyone else. You chose this. She then began crying a lot and called me a butthole. We haven't spoken since, and her friends have taken her side. Ultimately, I think she's trying the blame game. Am I the butthole?
Well, this is going to be a real easy answer for me.
All right, Tracy, I'll let you go first.
They both are. First of all, if she wanted, let me take a back step. He know he's lying. He did not wear no protection. Or he misapplied. Condoms are like, what, 95, 96, 97% effective? If he's talking about he wore protection. No, you didn't.
It does happen, Tracy.
It happens, but most of the time it doesn't. I'll say it that way. But she's the a-hole for listening to him. If deep down she wanted to keep that child, it's her choice. Because it's her body, her choice. She's also the a-hole for blaming him for making her get an abortion. He can't make her do anything. She decided to go into that clinic and have the abortion. He's the a-hole because he's willing to say, oh, I'll pay child support. I made the child, but I won't be in the child's life and you'll lose me? Boy, bye. That's all I got to say.
Theus?
I missed the first part, but Tracy kind of broke it down for me. So basically, He's with this woman. He gets her pregnant. He claims that he was using birth control. She gets pregnant anyway, and then he's like, "Well, if we have the baby, I'll pay child support, but I'm not going to help you raise the baby, and you could have an abortion though." And she decides to have an abortion, but really she was having the abortion apparently to keep him,
Mhm.
and so now she's having remorse from that. So, do I have that pretty tight?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
There are some parts
You
that's
left out the
missing,
part
like
about him calling her parents,
yeah, calling
like
her
she
parents,
5.
calling his parents. They was calling her, giving their advice about getting an abortion too, and everything else.
He
Okay.
called in the cavalry to really press it on her.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what kind of scenario, what ages we're talking about,
25,
because
26.
19,
They were 19 when she had the abortion,
and they're
okay,
25 now.
and she stayed
okay.
with. Shut up.
So it's strange that the parents. It's not strange for the parents to advocate for an abortion given the age, but it is strange for your boyfriend to be able to lobby both sets of parents for that, right? Normally would go the other way. But as far as like who's a butthole, whatnot, so uh, condoms do fail. They tear, they pop, they leak. A lot of things can happen. So that part, no one's really a butthole there. She got pregnant, or he got her pregnant, and so he's like, abortion or no abortion. She goes with abortion because of all the pressure, and ultimately it was her decision, but she was also 19. So I don't know. This was really not that clear up to the point that I just stopped at, because I've known young ladies who have had abortions, and they thought it was the right decision. Many of which, even to the point that I knew them anyway, still thought it was the right decision, but that doesn't take away the pain and the complexity, because every year at the time of the abortion and at the time that that baby would have been born, at least the women I've interacted with, it is a crushing emotional experience every year, twice a year. So her, after the fact, I'm going to use the word blaming him. It's just human. It just is. And him not wanting to raise the child, that is a reflection of how he was raised. Um, but him advocating for the abortion, I don't see that's a bad thing either. It's just a matter of, I believe that any woman you lay down with can be the mother of your child, and you have an obligation to that child, period. And my personal belief system will mean you have to raise it, but that's mine. That's It's not everybody's. In some cases, women would prefer you not be in the way, and then that creates a whole nother set of issues. So is he a butthole? I don't. I think I missed something in there, but I don't think that he is, and I don't think that she is. I don't know.
Okay. Anna?
Hmm. I'm going a teeny tiny bit for him. That was pressure. That was gaining all your troops and cornering her until she felt that she could only make one decision. That's how I read it. And that is not being a loving, supporting partner, let alone somebody who I would like to raise a child with anyway. But I see her as just young, and yeah, like Thea said, I have friends where it was still absolutely the right thing to do for their circumstances. They understand that completely, but emotions are what they are. They're not controllable. And she was young. I can't put anything on her for that.
Okay, I'm gonna give her one because I'm gonna go by what Tracy said. In the end, it is your decision. Period. We've been saying this for the longest time on women having a choice in their body. You made the choice. So I have to give her at least a one. I'm giving old boy a four because of what Anna said was, dude, you brought in the truth. You brought everybody and their mama, your mama, her mama, you and everything else. And this what made been lost because you didn't see the whole thing was when he brought in her parents and they talked to her and he already had talked to her, then because it sounded like she was still saying, no, I'm still gonna go through with it. Then he came in and said, well, if you do it, then I'm not going to be in the life. I'll pay whatever child support it is, but I'm not going to be there. That's a lot of pressure. And we're looking at a 19-year-old who
He
was
was 19
more.
too, right?
She was 19. He was 19.
Okay.
Mm,
I'm just wanting to make sure I was framing it because they're both kids then.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about a 19-year-old female who's pregnant, who's now being said from different angles not to have this baby. And the final straw was now not only are you decide to have this baby, you're gonna be raising it by yourself. Period. And the only reason he gets a four is the only thing he's gonna remember is, well, it was your decision to make it. Well, dude, you really didn't make it easy for her to make that damn
Yeah, he
decision.
sure didn't.
You really did not make it any easier to make that decision. I can get it if you sat there and said, you know what, I'm just gonna lay down what this will do to us. And lay that out like that. And if you decide, fine and whatever. You was really going out of your way to make sure she did not have a choice but to go through with it. Now her emotions are on what she did, and you're scapegoating like, well, it was your choice. Stop blaming everybody else.
Basically, he went to it's the baby or me. And
Yeah.
But it was but
she
the
Well,
fact
no.
that
chose
he's
him.
turning away.
No, because he said if you have this baby, I'll pay child support, but I won't. She obviously wanted him in her life because she stayed with him even after the abortion. Which why would she stay with the dirtbag like that?
That's why
I
she's
don't
getting
even
another
know.
one.
But okay, she stayed with him. So obviously she wanted him to be a part of her life. She obviously did because she went right back to him even after the abortion.
I feel you guys on that, but here's the thing. Like I'm like they're both 19. So if we're gonna call her young, we also have to call him young. Like you can't hold him to a higher standard than you hold her. And and I'm looking at it kind of 360, right? I've already kind of stated where my personal views would be at, but the way I still would approach this scenario is still a matter of if you have a position, you bring in all the tools at your disposal to push your position. Like you don't hold half your tools back. So his position, I'm putting words in his mind in his mouth at this point,
Mhm.
but his position is we're both young, we're fresh out of high school, we may be early in college or early in life, we don't know what's to come, and a baby will completely change our trajectory. It would just completely change it. And I'm getting the feeling that if they were in love, it was that young love, you know what I mean? So then you have the parents who are looking in on it, and they're looking at two 19-year-olds who lack the ability to take care of a child, don't have the attachment necessary to raise the child effectively, you know, in a household. So all these things I'm thinking still have to come in. And going back to the choice piece, there's a lot of power and responsibility I think that comes with that. Because on the one hand, we tell men it's not your choice, right? Out of this entire process of creating life, we have the easiest part. Okay,
Yeah.
we plant the seed, they have to grow it. So is the farmer more powerful than nature? And we would normally lean on the side of nature, right? So we say, okay, the woman makes the choice because it's going to affect her body, her life, everything is affected for her. It also affects the man too, if he's a responsible man. But see, I get to stick an if in there. So if we're going to put that amount of power in the woman's hands, then we have to look at it from the guy's side as well. We just have to. So he doesn't have a choice after he makes the initial biological choice, kind of like in the moment. You know, there's an argument to be made about animal behavior in the moment, but it in the get past the first moment, uh, baby on his way. Okay, all right. All power now rests in her hands. She can have the baby or not have the baby. If you believe in a woman's right to choose, she has all power at this point. Given that, you can't hold him to the same standards anymore
I would almost
because
agree
he's
with you.
subject.
I would almost agree with you, but here's my only caution. He was 19 when he told her it's either you have an abortion or I'm leaving. 7 years later, now he wants to say, oh, it's your fault. You didn't grow up much, bud, between 19 and 25.
No, I'm not talking about how much he grew up. I'm talking about if we just look at the surface of his statement 7 years later, it's 100% accurate because he's saying, we resolved this 7 years ago. You're mad at me 7 years later for a decision we made 7 years ago. And in fact, had you decided that you wanted to keep the child, what choices do I get to have? Right? I'm talking about just walking it through. The only choices he would have had at 19, had she decided to keep the child, would be pay child support or stay with her and raise it. Those are his two choices. Now, is it fair for him to have to stay with her on for whoever knows how much time because of her decision? You see what I'm saying? So it goes both ways. There's not a clean way to look at this in my view. But then the fact that he just seems callous is where I would place
his whole,
that
it's
level.
your decision. Dude, you done brought in her mama, her daddy, the
But that
dog,
was-
the
And
cat.
that's what I want to
his
say.
side.
This is what Mickey's saying. He set her up so she would have no family support
I
on
disagree.
either
his
side.
And
He
what
put
I'm
her on
saying,
an island. He
and
put
what
her on an island.
and that's what I'm saying. This is the deal.
But-
And this is the deal. Let's go with your island analogy. So you don't put her on a very small island, and the dude just with no food, no clean water,
No, that's not true.
nothing.
That's not true.
That-
I said he put her on an island from the standpoint of she has a support system and he has a support system. He got to everybody first so that she felt in the moment, like as far as the abortion decision, it's her against everybody. That's the island I'm talking about. But to then take that the next step and say she has no support, I think is a stretch because we don't know about her family, right? Her family may have advocated for the abortion because she was 19. And I'm going to layer extra stuff in here. She was 19. She's a freshman, sophomore in college. She's about to end up being completely affected because how do you take care of the kid and all that stuff? Her parents will step in because I know, like in my case, I would 100% step in to help take care of my grand and to take care of my child. It ain't gonna be an easy road for you, but you will always have my support. So I think it's a stretch to say that she's left completely alone. I just think she was left alone in that decision.
But obviously she's living with it. Hey, D.
Hey, D.
Okay.
What's up, man?
She's
Well,
obviously affected by it.
Absolutely.
Well,
And
we
he
don't
would have
know.
been affected the other way.
She still should have left her. But hey, that's just me.
I agree with you there as well. I
They
believe
should've
that
talked.
after
I
he
agree
put
with
her
you.
in that corner, she
Mhm.
should have been like, yo, that's not even the type of relationship
wasn't
or
right.
type of
Yeah, because
person I
he
would want to be
only
with.
had one answer that he could have given. Whatever decision you make, I'll support it. Whether that was to keep the baby or not keep the baby.
But so now you're telling him what his script has to be. But she
Yes.
has all the power in her script. That's not life.
Men
that ain't
don't
cool.
have babies.
That's not true at all because he's already told you what his script
Yeah,
is.
he's already.
No, Tracy.
No,
just
I'm
hit it
saying
upon-
his answer
just gave him
should
the
have
script.
been. His answer
Yeah.
should have been whatever your decision
Right.
is, I'm with it. But
Yeah,
no.
Marlon, we're talking about two different things. We're talking
Yeah,
about
I'm
like
talking
we
about
have
it.
the one script what we just talked about, which I think we're pretty much in mostly agreement on. But then on the other script, which is what we would like to imagine would be the situation, whatever you decide, I'm here for you. Oftentimes that's built on a foundation of we're in a loving relationship. We may not have the resources, but we're in a loving relationship. And whatever follows, you will not go through this abortion alone, and you will not go through raising this child alone. I'm here with you, and I'm here for this child, whatever way that goes. That's the way it should roll out. But
It didn't.
it's not fair to say he has to do that because she gets to make the decision and he just has to react to it. And I'm just saying from a human level.
Because Mickey, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah, we don't know her family dynamic.
Yeah, because they could be like, I'm not taking care of that kid. Nope.
Or they might not even be able to.
To take care. Exactly.
Mhm.
Or her pregnancy might trigger something. Have you ever thought about that? People carry baggage. So what if her parents had her when they were young?
I never
So
seen.
they're
Oh, you
looking
heading down
at-
the same alley.
And now they are taking their emotional baggage, reflecting it outward, and they're like, I don't want her to go through this.
Yeah, that would be, as a non-parent, I can't even imagine if my daughter said either one. I'd be like, but you're not. Yeah, it's harder for me to put myself in that position as a parent.
All right, let's go on to the next story. The more I listen to it, the more I'm going one way. When I first heard the story, I was on the fence, but now I'm obviously I'm going one way on this now.
This all started when I was 12 years old and my younger sister was 10. Let's call my younger sister Abby. Well, Abby started to get sick, and no one in the family knew what was going on. I started to be dropped off at my grandparents' as my parents went off to different doctors. I'm not going to get into her illness, but when the doctors figured it out, it was bad, so a lot of time was devoted to my sister. When I was 14, it got worse, and I started to be left at my grandparents' for longer amounts of time. It started with just staying the weekend, and then maybe the whole week. I would bring it up, and my parents would tell me they would have to focus on Abby. Soon, I was staying at my grandparents' for months. By the time I was 16, I was basically living with my grandparents full time. I would see my parents and Abby maybe every other month. If I texted them about this, I would always get the same response. We need to focus on Abby right now. I'm 19 now, and Abby's passed away from her illness. Her funeral was 2 weeks ago and I attended through FaceTime. I got a call today from my parents and they wanted to meet up and be a family again. I told them they abandoned one child for another. I am not their child anymore. That they only have one daughter and she's 6 feet under the ground now, and then I hung up. I've been getting texts calling me a butthole and that I should understand they needed to focus on Abby and to suck it up basically. So, am I the butthole? Down in the comments, I'm going to read this reply from Redoubtable South. Not the butthole. Was it harsh? Yes. Was it deserved? Also yes. While I can sympathize with dealing with a terminally ill child, they still had another child that needed their love and attention too. A child that was losing her little sister, probably scared and lonely, and then they freaking abandoned her for 7 years. Yes, Abby did need them, but you did too, and they failed you miserably. And they failed Abby too, who might have enjoyed a relationship with her sister in the few years she had left to live.
So, Anna, I'll let you go first on this one.
Ultimately, I agree with that comment. When you have two children, you have to figure in two different timelines, two different realities at times. I'm lucky that my chronic illness in my family, it didn't settle until I was an adult. So it didn't tear, my family, my parents away from my sibling. But I don't think it would have. And in all the years, it never has. If my brother needed my parents, they'd be there. And that's the way that should have gone. And no, like you said, he was harsh, yes, but that was deserved. That was just, I don't know what the situation was with the grandparents, but he felt neglected, completely neglected.
This?
Well, a couple things. One, my heart breaks for any family who has to deal with a terminally ill child. Just the concept of knowing that this person that you love so much will never see adulthood, and you don't even know how much time you have with them before it's all said and done. The cocktail of emotions that is, the demands on time and resources that causes, the isolation, the regret, the all of the things. I mean, there's so much that goes into that. So it's hard for me to, from the outside, look at these parents and condemn them in any way for not playing it right. Um, are there ways they could have done it better? Certainly. Did they just keep the child at home and neglect the child while they had to dote on the ill child? No. Maybe from the decisions they were making in the moment, they really thought they were making the best decision by allowing the child to have a sense of stability and not being encumbered by the constant uh, weight of what was going on with her sister by placing her with her grandparents. And ultimately they didn't do it effective enough for this child because the child felt abandoned. Um, there's no details in the story as to what type of illness the sibling had. It could have been bad. So I don't know, man. It's just hard for me to really put anything on the parents except to say I wish they had done it better. But I don't know what resources were at their hands. I don't know what their background was. I don't know any of those things. Unfortunately, they didn't get it right. And for the child, she was 19. So hey, we're right back at another, in my view, child. Um, she's entitled to her feelings. She sounds a little, sounds like she needs some counseling for real. Um, but to tell your parents who just lost one child that they've lost both, you can't take words back, folks. You can't. So I would say that the surviving child was right for how she feels, wrong for how she reacted, and that's kind of where I'd have to leave that.
Tracy?
This is terrible. I can literally see all sides of it. From the surviving sibling's point, she doesn't understand. I don't know if the parents told her, Sister Abby, she's really sick. We don't expect her to make it. But obviously, this is just, the siblings' response of your only child is 6 feet under the ground. That's, there's certain, to me, it's certain things you don't say to your parents, but obviously there's a disconnect between the surviving sibling and the parent. I mean, obviously that sibling feels like I was neglected, and they said, "Hey, I tried to bring this up, but they just kept saying, hey, we got to focus on Abby." The parents definitely, like Mickey said, one parent could have taken Abby to all of her appointments. The other parent could have stayed at the house. They could have tried to see maybe one of the grandparents would move into the house so that the sibling doesn't have to go off for months at a time. There's lots of options, but their focus, unfortunately, when you have more than one child, you have to focus on, how many children it is that you have. Yes, you have a sick child. Yes, you need to take care of that child, but you can't just focus on that child because, like the responder said in the Reddit, you're neglecting Abby from having a relationship with that child. And that could have been not that it would have cured her, but it could have made the transition a lot easier if she had her sibling, like someone that she could talk to that was her age, because maybe she felt like she couldn't talk to the parents. This is messed up, but yeah, I agree with you, Steve. That surviving sibling needs to go to therapy. So do the parents. You don't tell the child, hey, let's focus on Abby. Then when Abby's dead, okay, so now you're here. We'll focus on you. Yeah, it's like, nah, you can't be doing, nah, it don't work like that.
Yeah.
So
Like I said, I wish they had done it better, but
Yeah,
I don't know how hard I can come down on them.
Yeah, I mean, I see where the surviving siblings going. I just could never imagine saying that to my parents after they lost a child. Oh yeah, you got one in the ground. That's the only child you had. But then I understand why that sibling said what they said, because the parents, they were so focused on getting Abby well that they made this other child mentally sick. It was like, okay.
So here's my deal. I'm going to give the child 0.5 fuckery. I cannot. Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because yeah, you need to watch what you said because that was harsh. You only had one child and she's 6 feet under right after the funeral. That's kind of like cringy to me. But then again, we also have to look at it this way, though. Maybe she would not have said that if she was raised by her parents. She wasn't since the age of 12.
I don't care if she was raised by billy goats. That was still.
You don't
Well,
tell.
but here's
You got to
the
have
deal.
some. She knew who her parents were.
Here's the deal. This is why I say what I say. Because we got to look at the time frame of it all. We're looking at from 12 to 19. You just witnessed your sister, who you haven't seen in, what's that?
7 years.
7 years. You ain't seen your sister in 7 years, and the next phone call you get is, hey, you want to be a family again? There are going to be some harsh things that's going to come out your freaking mouth. Sorry, but not sorry. It really is. Because all you going to think about it, and I'm just analyzing it, she didn't say it, but she's always going to feel like second choice in the matter. That she was second nature. Oh, the child that we've been taking care of these 7 years that we separated you from and that we abandoned you over your grandma's house. Well, she's gone, so you can come on back now. So she's always going to feel like she was second choice. The parents had options.
They really did, and they didn't.
They had options to take care of both of them, and they decided that this was the best course. Fine. I've always said it before. You could do whatever it is that you want to do as long as you can handle the consequences. You can't do stuff like this and then turn around and go, okay, well, we're back to normal now. No harsh feelings. Don't say anything wrong. Don't say anything bad to me. You have to understand She can't understand because she was not in that household. It could have been, like what Thea said, it could have been absolutely terrible. We don't know what that illness was. We have not a clue. That daughter didn't know either.
Right. It's still her sister.
She knew of it, but she didn't know what the extent that the parents had to go through it because you gave her to somebody else. You wouldn't talk to her about it. You wouldn't discuss anything about it.
Or allow the child to see the sibling. How
Or
do you?
allow the child to see the siblings or anything.
Yeah. No, there's so much wrong because I mean, you robbed this child of her relationship with her sibling, right? You loved Abby, so you had that relationship with Abby. Who's to say that her sister had less of a right to love Abby too?
It's a
Right?
difference between her being 5 years old and 2 years old than her being close to Abby's age. And degrees of what you tell the child.
No, I agree with you, Mickey. But I'm not. But I'm not discounting that. I'm sympathizing with both of them. I'm talking about me. I don't know what I can't speak for anybody else. I'm sympathizing with the whole thing around. Like it's a jacked up situation. It's almost that's a terrible analogy. I'll discard that one. But it's just a bad situation, and it's always easier on the outside to dissect something because we're not emotionally attached to it.
Oh, hold on.
They
Please.
made bad decisions.
And we got to remember from here on out, by the way, okay? We have to remember that we are taking it from one side of the story.
Right. This is how the child interpreted it and chose to relay it.
Yeah, so just keep that in
But
mind.
still, they were like, "Oh, she's dead. Let's go to the other child."
But that's how she received it. That may not be how it went down.
I was
And that's
wondering
what I mean.
exactly
It
how
could've
they
been-
came back.
It could have been. I haven't seen her in 7 years. When no, you've seen her
But
like
to
every other
FaceTime
weekend.
for the funeral, not to even go to your sibling's funeral.
Well, this could
Right.
have been
She
this could have been
FaceTime.
this could have been through
FaceTime.
this could have been COVID situation though. So
Could have been COVID. Could have been grandma and grandpa don't even live in the same state. Could have, like there's so much that we don't get.
Yeah.
Because what if? So we're throwing hypotheticals, right? They live in Georgia. Grandma and grandpa live in what's a state that's not too far but not right up on you? Louisiana. All right. So can't get to you every weekend. I can get to you less frequently than that, right? There's so much that can go into it. Or you might have been active. So some of the times when we wanted to see you, you were busy or didn't want to see your parents, right? So it's a whole lot in there. But if we're just going to focus on the feelings of it all, I think the child is justified in how she feels because it's how she feels. Because that means that something was missing in helping her through such a traumatic time too. The trauma was not just Abby. It was not just the parents. It was this young lady too. And she got skipped. Even if it wasn't on purpose, she got skipped.
This is where we need to destigmify talking to a therapist, getting mental help, even talking to a therapist to figure out what are the best options going forward. That would have been a great option. They may not have thought it was there, but please, especially parents, talk. Find somebody to talk to.
So I bring us on. It's like a pivot, and I apologize, y'all. It's about because you brought up the therapy, and I agree with you. But it's like it's interesting. I almost feel like therapists are like mechanics. Well, that's not even the best analogy either, because it's like I've not met anyone who goes to therapy that ends up really better. Like they're processing things better, I assume. Yeah, I haven't met too many who all of a sudden, well, I finished the regimen.
Because you never are finished. You never are
but
finished.
That's my
You're
point.
You're a work in progress. But what a therapist does is they a good one. They can help you to see things that you clearly you can talk it through, but you can't see it.
Right. They can give you extra
They
tools.
can get you be like, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even do this or talk about something like when I went. I was like, why am I so angry? Why am I so this and why am I so that? And when she was telling me these, like we were going through our exercises, I'm like, well, snap, that was right there in front of my face. It was helping me to realize the answer was right there. Now, am I better? I'm better than I was when I went, but I'm still going because there's still things I have to learn.
That's where I was headed. Because I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think in most cases it's a really good thing. Because it's somebody who's outside of yourself who's giving you extra tools, right? So you to work through and process and think through things and all that good stuff. But it's almost like it becomes just another dependency as well, because now those extra it's like, how do you come? You know what I think?
There's a
What it is?
difference when you want to see a
I'm
therapist
stigmatized.
for a situation rather than seeing a therapist for a mental disease to help you cope with that.
Right. I'm talking about like, goodness, no, that's ableist language. I'm talking about just most people, because everybody got issues.
Sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. You don't make it through this life untouched. Everybody doesn't really have to go to counseling in order to function. So I'm just saying, I don't know, it's anecdotal, but that does help, Tracy. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like it becomes another thing now you just have to keep doing.
Now, this is what I believe. I've always believed, just like you have your yearly physical, you might want to see a therapist once a year. You know, just to kind of check to see if everything's functioning.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't have to be like a constant thing.
No, it doesn't have to be.
All right, see, I'm thinking about like every month you on the couch.
Some people do have to go every month. Some people have to go every other week. Some people have to go every day. But you don't have to always be going. You just go, like I said, just like you have your yearly physical, you got your yearly.
That one makes more sense to me.
Therapy visit, like, okay, now if they identify something or say you need to be on some medication, that's a whole different path.
Because most of the people I've met, they ain't got no better off of it. They still dealing with the exact same.
The funny thing about it is you had to write.
Because we need better therapists.
Yeah,
you had to write analogy, Theas. It is like a mechanic. You want to keep your car running, you take it to a mechanic to keep it running. You want to keep yourself running, you may have to go to a therapist to keep yourself running.
Here's why I backed off that analogy, Marlon. Because a mechanic, you take your car in to the mechanic, and like you have what's a good one? Your brakes are low. So they go in, they diagnose your car, they fix your brakes, and then they give you 12 more things that are wrong. All the things don't really have to be addressed or dealt with, but you're here. So these things ain't perfect. So let's go ahead and fix that too. So that is why a lot of people don't go to mechanics, right? Because they know I went for one thing, and then you're going to try to get me to do 6 more things that aren't even critical. And now once you touch one of those non-critical items, something else has to be dealt with, something else has to be dealt with. And now I'm always in the shop, always spending my money. So I backed off of that analogy because the motivations, I hope, are different, but it's still a capitalist system. So you can still run into that trap, right?
You still can use that.
You got regular doctors that will prescribe patients oxycodone, just keep writing
just to do it. You keep coming back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We can keep it.
But I'm not going to tell people, stop going to the doctor. I'm going to just say find a good doctor to go to.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is the analogy that you used is still on point. If you go to a mechanic and he's finding 52,000 things when all you said is oil, obviously you have a bad mechanic. Your logic says be, hey, I'm going to stop going to you because you're telling me bad things. Just like if you go to a psychiatrist and says, I have PTSD. No, you also have schizophrenia, bipolar, and everything. Dude, come on.
And you're scared of 90-degree angles. Right. I get it.
Yeah, you may need to go to another.
Did you say you're scared of 90 degrees?
What I'm
Yeah,
saying
if
is,
you go to the wrong person, you should know, hey, I'm coming to you because of this situation that I want to deal with. And that doctor finds 500 more things that you need to deal with.
no,
Yeah,
bro.
you
Yeah,
need
they
to
start with
realize.
the you
But
go
I'm
in.
not trying to place ill intent. Like we're starting to slide down a path of ill intent, which are valid points. I'm saying that you went to the mechanic in this particular case, or the therapist. I'm going to go with therapist in this particular case. Everything that's being pointed out is legit because everybody has some issues, not one issue, issues. So I'm not saying they're just trying to get you, so to speak, but if you went there because you knew that this particular area was broken or damaged, they, but just doing their job, are supposed to look for other issues too. Well, now you're in this cycle because there's always something, always. And that's where I guess I always feel a little trepidation. That's one of the reasons I don't really like doctors that much. But I have to go. I know better than to do like my old system. My old system was a traditional mail system, which is it's about to fall off. I better go to the doctor. You know?
And when you could have just went and then prevented it from falling off. I mean, come on.
Right. So I understand the value of preemptive or
I know next
preventative.
to nothing about that. Okay.
Yeah, they also give you some coping mechanism and things you
Okay,
can do
Marlon,
outside
you
of.
getting on your own show.
No,
Well,
that's
here's
true.
the deal because she's on Facebook and I want to. Here is the original, and Facebook won't let you give your name, so.
Well, let her be her. Stop trying to take over her. But no, I'm
Wow.
100% with those things. I'm with those things, and like I said, I didn't mean to go all off on a weird tangent. It was just one of those things that always concerns me because there's always more.
We
So
need to, like Anna said, we need to stop, especially in the church. Well, we good
the
at
church won't even send you to a therapist. They send you
No.
to some guy who didn't even go to school for it.
Yeah. And then tell all your business.
Oh,
Like, no.
they went to their school.
No, they didn't go to school for this though. They went to school to learn how to preach and teach.
Their church school. Trust
Oh,
me,
I do,
I'm not even gonna lie about this. There was a church that I knew of that had therapy lessons that they taught people how to give therapy
That's
from
actually
a biblical point of view.
I've actually heard of that.
Sure.
Yeah, I ain't gonna deal with that one. But
Yeah, I want a licensed professional because when I'm sick,
Yeah.
I don't. You know me. I'm just saying, me personally. I'm not saying don't talk to your friends, but some things your friends can't handle because they got their own.
Yeah.
They see you in a certain way, where somebody from the outside can say, "Hey, have you thought about it like this?" You're like, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
And the answer was there the whole time, but you need somebody to get you to that place.
All right, we got to move on because we got a few minutes left before the hour is up, and this is longer than what we normally used to. I ain't gonna say it's like 2 hours long or something, but I'm sorry that I have to laugh at this because I don't know whose world this is, but even when I told it to Foxy, she looked at me like it was crazy, and it is crazy. So this will be the last one for the day. I mean, for the night.
First up, I love my wife very, very, very much. But man, does she drive me crazy sometimes. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'4", and I'm always freaking hungry. I'm a firefighter, so I'm always on my feet, and simply put, I just love food. My wife always eats stuff like salads and nuts, but she will always help herself to some of my food, which pisses me off because it's just the right amount of food that I want to eat, but she'll go ahead and take some. I've asked her so many times to leave my food alone, and she'll get really defensive and say, "It's just a little, babe, you'll be fine." Except I'm not fine. I'm hungry. And then when I'm hungry, I get hangry. And I snap at everyone cause I'm god dang hungry. Things came to a head at our kid's 3rd birthday party. Wife said no to cake, despite me bringing over a slice to her. So I gave that slice to my cousin's kid who was on his second slice. My girl ended up eating the whole slice while I held the freaking plate, and then when I went to get myself some, all the cake had been finished. Lately, my mother-in-law gave me the idea to just spice my food to stop my wife from taking mine, since she can't stand spicy food. I tried that yesterday. I ordered pizza and asked my wife if she wanted one. She said no. I went ahead and got pepperoni and jalapenos. And predictably, when it came, she came over and got all mad because it was spicy and she couldn't eat it. I told her I had to take drastic measures because I'm fed up of sharing my food, and she called me a selfish butthole. So who's the butthole here?
Oh, another easy one.
Oh, this real
Wow.
This is too easy.
Okay, I'm actually gonna start this first. Go get your own damn food, bruh. I'm sorry, I'm sick of this. I literally asked you, do you want something
food?
to
No.
eat? Nah. That looks good. It really is. That's why I ordered it. That's the reason why I got it, because it was good. I knew it was going to be good. That's why I got enough for me. But I'm gonna give the wife 3 fuckeries for that last thing that she did. Because now she has proven that she's doing it on purpose. Honey, do you want some pizza? No, I don't want no pizza. So he got jalapenos on the pizza. What's the first thing that she did? Oh, why you get jalapenos? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought. You just like to say no because you know eventually you're gonna come in and get some anyway. Man, I'm done with you. I'm done. Y'all can take over.
Oh.
You get 3 fuckeries.
I would say like this. Oh, Anna, please go, please.
So I just have one little question for the guy. Is it that hard to put just a few extra things on your plate if you know she's gonna do it?
No.
Anna, I had to disagree.
Keep your hands out my plate.
Nah, get your fingers out my food. No.
I'm not enabling you.
Nah.
I'm not going out of my way.
She's a grown-behind woman. It's y'all turn. It ain't mine yet.
I was gonna say like this. All right, 2 things. All right, so first, I get it, Anna. I do. I get it. You probably a snake, a plate sneaker. I get it. My wife does that mess to me. Like my wife don't want what I'm eating, but she want to taste what I have. So she'll sneak around behind me and just like pick a little something. It don't even affect really the plate.
That ain't got nothing to do with no.
But it's the fact that you touching my plate. You know what I'm saying?
You see who's saying it, though, Tracy. You see who's saying it, though. But you see who's saying it.
What happened?
She said
the comment.
You have to share. Read the comment.
Read the comment.
No, so here's the thing. No. Now, here's where. Okay, so two things. First thing, I'm gonna take the easy one first. Ladies, who the hell taught y'all it's okay to just take something from somebody? It ain't his job to ever have to put up with someone taking something, especially after he's told you how he feels about it. I don't care. So what you're saying is your feelings are more important than his feelings because he is expressed to you. I will get you your own thing. I will make more for you if I need to, but what I made was what I wanted. Don't take my food. He's expressed it to you. You've decided, screw what he feels. This is what I feel, and I'm going to do it anyway. I don't like that. Now, I said there were 2 things. Second thing, I can't stand a passive-aggressive man. Oh, my God, I can't stand that shit.
He was
Look, man, look. You tried to be upfront with her. You tried to tell her what the deal was, so that was straight. That was good. That's what it is, man. But you are married to this woman, so odds are you've let this crap slide for a while. So you're gonna actually have to I know y'all gonna like this language. Y'all have to man up and just be like, really have a fight over it. You're just gonna have to, because having a discussion ain't gonna work. See, you have a discussion, she's gonna be like, oh, okay, he's just mad, he'll be all right. No. You got to be like, look, straight up, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and have this out right quick. Keep your hands off my damn plate. You want something, then I'll get it for you. But don't you put your hands on my plate. And you need to actually like go right at it and have a hard up fight on it. Stop this thing where what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a pizza. And I'm gonna put stuff on the pizza that I know she can't eat. And when she says something about it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, because I knew you weren't gonna like it. That's passive aggressive, dude. Order your pizza, eat your pizza. When she come to put her hands on it, slap the slip out of her hand and be like, the hell wrong with you?
Okay, we're gonna be non-violent on this one, but
I said slap her hand.
I
Slap her
just
hand.
don't see the point at all.
I do. I
You know the
totally
easiest
disagree.
part?
I
Don't
don't
put
get
your
why-
hands on somebody's plate.
I don't put my hands in somebody else's plate. That's the thing.
He's already said, hey, this bothers me when you do this, and she obviously didn't hear anything he was saying. Don't make if my man did that to me, because men don't tend to do this. This tends to be a woman thing, unfortunately. Women, especially married women, tend to do this, and they think it's cute. It's not cute to reach on somebody's plate, especially when they've told you, don't do it. Now, if they get a little extra because they know you're going to be on the plate, okay, that's one thing. But this guy specifically said, hey, I don't want you to take food off of my plate. That makes me upset. And she was like, oh, well, I'm going to keep doing it. If that had been me, I'd have got jalapenos on that pizza, habanero peppers on that pizza,
hot
bell
pepper
peppers
plates.
on that pizza. Oh, that would have been so hot, she would have never made that mistake again.
I'm literally going to get some ghost peppers and slice it on my pizza right in front of
That's
them.
so rude. I don't like when women, and women, we so good at this. And I'm a feminist through and through, but we are good at this. We think, oh, it's so cute. I've heard women literally say, it's cute to take food off. It's not. That is his plate. You have a plate. You've decided that you want to stay skinny, so you're just going to eat off his plate.
What? Mama?
I ain't negotiating nothing.
Ain't nobody negotiating nothing. Keep your fingers off my food.
To be fair though, like my response has not been to go to war with my wife over this. Now we go to war with other things. We ain't gonna fight over this. I know that I eat large portions. I do. So if she takes something off my plate, I might make a statement about, well, why didn't you just tell me? I would have made you your own. But I'm not gonna get upset about it because I literally know that I have made enough that if she took something and one of my kids took something, I'd still have. So that's an allowance I made, but it's not something she's entitled to.
Yeah, but then you didn't tell her, hey, you know what, this really bothers me. And she just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it.
Oh, I may be wrong, but it's highly unlikely.
Oh, boy. But anyway, people, keep your fingers. Women, it's not cute that you reach on your. It's a difference between negotiate and she didn't even care. She was just like,
takes two to negotiate.
Mama Hart.
Yes, especially when he said,
here's what I say to what you said. The negotiation is, hey, I know you like to go and take stuff off my plate. Can I go get you your own plate? I'm going. You don't have to go. I'm going.
He's offering to fix her a plate.
Your own food. And by the way, and this is cringeworthy because my wife does this all the time, and y'all missed it in that conversation. But it popped in my head, and I almost wanted to slap this screen off the doggone desk when I heard it. And that's when she said, honey, stop taking food off my plate. You all right? Apparently, I'm not all right.
Because you're
literally dismissing your feelings.
That's dismissive. I'm not for that. Because
and as far as I'm sorry, Tracy, go ahead.
To reverse the situation. Let's reverse the situation.
He's stealing your olives.
Now you can't steal olives. I will fight you over some olives. I love olives. But let's reverse the situation. You really like I don't know, spaghetti with lots of meat sauce and marinara and all that. And he says, oh, I don't want, or no, different situation. What do you want to eat? Oh, whatever you have. Then you start naming a whole list of stuff. Chinese, don't want that. Italian, don't want that. American, don't want that.
Please stop. Please stop.
What did I do?
PTSD.
Yeah, don't do that. Every husband in America right now is like, I've done this and it
You
doesn't
cannot
end
do
well.
that. We need to be more
Husbands
assertive.
around the world just felt like they got kicked in the balls with you telling that story. Honey, what do you want to? What do you want to
It doesn't
eat?
matter. Okay, so we're gonna eat Japanese food. Shut up. No, I don't want you. No, we're not gonna do this. You go to Taco Bell and get you whatever you want. I'm gonna go here because you can't make up your mind. I can't deal with that. I can't.
Oh, my all-time favorite. What do you have a taste for? I have a taste for a burger. Okay. McDonald's, no. Burger King, no. Or you want to go to this fancy place that's up the street? That costs too much. Okay. Do you want me to cook you one? Nah, that's too much. Okay, what effing burger you want then? I don't care.
Yeah. I never.
How you gonna not say you don't care? See, that's passive aggressive to me. That really is. And I'm not speaking for the whole women delegation. I'm only speaking for me. I would never do that. If I say I want a burger, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to nasty McDonald's. That's out. But I'm going to say, hey, I want to go to this place. I want this, and this. I'm going to be assertive in what it is that I want and set the expectation for what it is. I can't do this whole, whatever you decide and then complain about. I can't. I'm just not with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what Mama said, and I'm be like, the thing about negotiations, marriage is constant negotiations. I 100% agree. But I also know I don't negotiate with terrorists. So if I've already,
already said,
if I've already told you where my areas of concern are, and you still insist on like dominating those areas of concern, you're a terrorist, and I'm not negotiating with you anymore.
I mean, when they were children, did they mamas and daddies teach them you don't reach over to somebody else's plate and just start eating off of their food? Like, what happened?
They don't get taught that.
Y'all?
But it's apparently it's a very common thing because a lot of ladies do it.
Not this one. This lady right here don't do that mess. Because that's
but then when the thing about the eating thing. Now, granted, we've been married for almost 15 years now. So there's a certain scar tissue that's built up. So when I say, hey, what would you like to eat? And you say, oh, I don't know, it doesn't matter. There's not a second question coming.
No, it's like, okay,
we're just going.
We're going to Denny's. Thank you. You said it didn't matter. You said it didn't matter.
Because every time
I at the point when you get to the 18th year, that ain't flying.
Every time I try to give options, you can't do it every time, but every time I do try to give options,
give options. Like you want to go here or here.
This? No, not really.
Do
you want this? No, I'm not really interested in that either. So now I'm mad because because what you're really doing, this is what you do, and I've told her this, and what you're really doing is you want me to continue to speak out loud different options just so you can finally hear your option in my voice. I'm not your second brain.
Thank you.
Whatever you want, just let me know. And then that way I actually have the opportunity to say, I don't really want that. Is there something else we can go get? Like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, it's like, what do you have a
taste that's why I always say what you have I never say where do you want to eat. I say what do you have a taste for?
I'm not going to be that lady. If you ask me what I want, I'm going to be like tacos.
Yeah, we only eat like 5 places. So what do you want? Where do you want to eat is a perfectly good question. And
then I'm gonna end it off with this. Sometimes it's okay to go, okay, you go get what you want, and I'm gonna go get what I want.
Sure is. Because you can't make
nothing wrong with that. You go, we'll eat together, but we ain't eating the same thing.
I'll make 2 stops if I have to. I've gotten to that point.
Yeah, but to be all that indecisive, I can't stand.
Mickey, do you want to be bad from this show?
Yes, Mickey.
Do you want to be bad? Because I have no problem doing it.
Hey, you stop
You're
that. Stop
overstepping your
it.
boundaries.
What?
You're overstepping your boundaries, Mickey.
Mickey, you all right. He just ain't got over that fact that he was wrong on his own show the other day.
We're gonna
That's
take
all.
a break.
wasn't
We're
wrong.
taking our break. We're taking our 1 hour break. I ain't got to put up with this.
Take
One
an hour
hour.
break.
Hour.
Yeah, because I need that much time to get over with
Okay.
people.
Okay,
We're gonna
Here
take
we
on ahead
here.
and take our 3-minute break. Please do not forget to hit that like button on the way out the door. I would appreciate it. Truly, if this is the kind of content that you like, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And we will see you whenever the hell I feel like coming back.
that's 3 minutes, y'all.
Yes, yes, 3 minutes, everybody. Just so you know.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, finally, I wanna be free. Finally, I always daydreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. Finally, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Finally.
We are back for the second hour of the show. Tracy chilling on the couch, eating whatever that
A
is.
miniature, the smallest ice cream cone ever.
That thing will make me so
I
mad.
can't do those no more.
3 bites and it would be.
It is gone. It's like
Well, you know, with the
That
diet,
may
I
be a-
can't
Can't
really
have
go.
too
You
much
know,
of
I
it.
can't go ham on it like I want to. So this kind of substitute.
No, I feel
You
you.
do you, Tracy.
You know what was really good while we on the subject? There used to be these little Dove bonbons. They were frozen ice cream bites. You can still get them, but they had a flavor though that they don't do anymore, which is like the raspberry dark chocolate one. Oh my goodness. So good. And they're gone.
Yep, this is chocolate.
It's because they know you like them.
Hey,
Any
that's what I was gonna
dessert
say.
I
They
like
do
to
it.
get rid of.
Everything that
Mhm.
you go like, they go
Oh
get
no,
rid
it's
of.
plenty of desserts. I'm like, you know what? No.
Well, I'm not a big dessert person. I'm really not. I'm more about meat,
I'm not.
vegetables, and potatoes kind of guy. So dessert, I can literally go months and not have any dessert. I'll be all right.
I'm not a cake person or a pie
Mm.
person or
Oh
something
boy.
like that. I'll do it once in a blue
Well, y'all hit
moon when
all
I
of mine.
I
Y'all hit
literally
all of
have to.
them.
I literally,
Mhm.
Tracy, I have to have a taste for it, and that's few and far
Yeah,
in between that I do.
I got
which
pies,
is
cakes, cookies, brownies.
I can
'Cause you
have
Um,
can.
I like
I can
brownies.
have a cookie that's fresh out the oven, and I guarantee it's probably still one.
Yeah, I can do brown. I love brownies. That's like a weakness for me.
corner
But
piece.
I can still do
Because you
just
can't
one
go in the
though.
middle part of the brown. You gotta get the corner piece.
no, I like the middle more
No,
than
I
the
like the
corners.
middle. I don't want. I don't want the
The
I don't
corner.
like
corner.
them
Always
hard
seems
edges. But
burnt.
I'll eat them. But I don't like the hard edges.
It always seems like it's burnt or
Leave the
something to
edges for
me.
me. Leave
Plus,
the edge.
I like
You
my
can have
brownies
the
cold.
edges.
I like my brownies cold. I don't like them hot.
I leave
No,
all
I
the
need it
food to you guys.
cold with French vanilla ice cream on top.
No, I don't like ice cream like that.
I love ice cream. Obviously,
No a la mode?
I'm not an ice cream guy. I'll eat
Mm.
it, but if I eat ice cream, it won't be like a regular flavor, right? Like if I eat ice cream, it's gonna be like it's got chocolate and strawberries and or chocolate and raspberry. It's not gonna just be, hey, you want some strawberry ice cream? If I have
Oh, I
to.
wonder what your Ben and Jerry's flavor would be then.
I like their chocolate chip cookie dough one, and I like their cherry Garcia. Is that
Mm.
the right name?
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yep,
a
that's
good.
a good.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it pushing. Y'all remember that Radical Truth to Power will be on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll get right back into you know what. Please do not forget to go to Tracy Media LLC, her Patreon page to help support her. Please do not forget to go to Thea's Patreon page, Complex Mind, help him support his cause. Please do not forget to go to mine. I would truly appreciate the help support the cause. And please do not forget to go to Anna's website and help support her on her page. If anybody wants to send me an email, you can always send it to radtp@outlook.com. That's radtp@outlook.com. I also will please remind you again, as a broken record, please do not forget to hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. For those who's coming in brand new, the more that like button goes up, the more the algorithm on YouTube will suggest our video to more people so we can get our words out to more people each and every time that we come on air. Also, please do not forget to hit that bell for notifications. Y'all gonna stop trying to blame me, Mickey, that y'all ain't getting notifications that I'm coming on because it ain't my fault. I warned y'all a long time ago. I could pop up on any situation, and it's usually the most important one. So it ain't me.
It's
Just
so
like when a
messy.
relationship broke up, it ain't me, it's you.
So messy. So messy.
I ain't got no problem
But I
with
have to
that.
make two disclosures real quick. One, Mickey, I'm glad we on the same page. We making that happen. Me and Mickey, we got that rocking. Look at that. Look. Oh, I don't know about the sweets part, but veggies, fruits, meats, fish. I love it. Um,
Mm.
and this was a momentous occasion, everyone. A momentous occasion. On this day, I think was the first time that myself and Foxy didn't agree. That like never happens.
Huh?
You need more people to disagree in this world.
Well, she's
That's not
right
making
so
no
often.
And as Susan said, please comment even after the live show. That too affects the algorithm. The more comments that you have after the show, that too affects the algorithm to suggest our video to more people. So just because you missed a live, that doesn't mean. And Susan, you can tell everybody. I read every comment. Either I'll up it, I'll down it, I'll say something back. whatever, but it is not gonna go like, okay, he ain't never gonna read it. Haha, I'm just gonna say something. That's that's how I found a lot of bots on there to begin with. That's why them bots don't even deal with me no more because they'll assume, he's not gonna read this. Yeah, I do, because I don't care about your Russian prostitute that you have somewhere that I don't know what that was. Don't look at me like that. There was one bot that actually did put that on.
they will get on your page.
Well, they'll put a link in there. That's when you go in and delete them.
Yeah, I did.
Click the link.
I did. That was the title. That was the title. Would you like to meet a Soviet prostitute? Heart. Click this, but I'm like, God, this is getting disgusting.
They came right out and called her a prostitute?
Or a bride.
But you know what would really help us if you want to do a comment after the show and you want to say something about something we specifically said, could you leave a timestamp so we know what you're
when we said it
talking about?
Oh my gosh, you'd be like, what? I gotta watch the whole thing again?
Well, I mean, our show will be like 3 hours long, so I'm not going to ask you for a timestamp, but just be clear about what you're talking about. And make sure that when you agree with me, make sure you post that like 2 times, right? Just say
once is enough.
Once is enough. Heard somebody make a comment saying, Marlon, I totally agree. That was an awesome comment that you made. I absolutely agree 100%.
Which one?
You know what? It was a 3-hour show. I have no idea.
Just take the compliment. Hey, when you agree with me, I don't need a timestamp. Just say, Theas, you were right. You were dead on. Theas, I'm with you. And I'm happy. In fact, copy and paste. Copy and paste like 2-3 times. It's
Don't listen to that. And that ice cream cone, I tell you, it was little. It's gone.
And what was that? Because we still talking, and it's gone. So yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like 2 minutes high.
I ain't got. I spend more time taking the.
Take more time. Take more time to get out the wrapper.
Yeah.
No, but
if I take more time taking out the wrapper than eating it, nah, man, I ain't got.
Well, I can't eat the whole big cone like I want to. Unless
I applaud you, Tracy, because you
it's
doing
okay,
it the right
Tracy.
way.
Tracy, I actually agree with you. I actually agree with you on that because it's been a long time since I actually finished one of those big cones. So I ain't
now
gonna lie
the state county fairs. All rules go out the window during that time. Everything out the window.
I will not eat an ice cream cone like regular people. I just can't do that. They're too damn messy.
Yeah,
my ice cream need to come in a cup.
Yeah, okay? I don't get cones no more.
I get cones, waffle cones, regular cones.
Man,
I don't want to melt. I'll be so mad.
I ain't got no time to try to time myself between, and I'm a grown man. I ain't that sticky hand type of person, and I'm okay with it. No, I need some more.
Y'all know y'all missing cones are it. That one I just ate was chocolate chip. I'm like, ooh, that was good.
The best thing about those cones was that chunk of chocolate that sits at the bottom.
I guess so, Susan.
Susan, don't you worry about it because you commented at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So the fact that you doing it is well appreciated.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if Susan ain't making 1-2 comments, Susan be up in the 13, 14 comments, so she watching the video because she's be like,
but
every
she's
time
doing
I wake
it
up
along the
and
way.
look
So
at my phone, it's like, you got
but she's
comments.
doing hers along the way, so you can be like, oh, I was talking about this.
Yep.
Oh, I was talking about this, and this one I was talking about this, and then other ones be like, it was good. What part? What part? That's like
when they say it was good, they just weren't confident about how to spell my name. So they talking about me.
But you wasn't even on this podcast. Somebody said that about my Monday show. I'm like, what part? I talk a lot about lots of things.
They might have thought I was going to be on.
Do you feel better about yourself doing this?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we can
And
tell because
you have a problem with therapists.
No, I have a problem with therapists. I was just saying where my concerns were, in that you end up going in and you can't come back out. That's all.
It's either him or Deacon Clyde, one or the other. I'm going with the therapist.
You need a mechanic of the mind. Real or nah?
Cornhole.
Real or nah?
So I started a new
Okay, well you start.
I'm gonna go with nah. I'm gonna go with nah.
Real
Nope.
or nah? I blame it on the painting I had to do today. I'm tired, so my wife had me painting the outside of the house. So
The outside? Oh, you big
Oh.
timing. So you
Ooh.
did like the pressure wash thing and then paint it?
Yeah, I was out there with the pressure washer and everything like that, and I had to scrape the paint off first with a butter knife.
You don't have
Because you gotta get in those corners.
you don't have
I-
what type of siding they call that when it's not wood, it's something else.
Hardy
No,
plank.
Vinyl. That's what I'm thinking.
Nah, most people have hardy plank now. At least that's what you should have. If you have a choice,
I-
get hardy plank.
Did I hear the words "not even true"?
Not even true.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear it.
No. Okay.
First video.
Yeah,
First
see?
it was.
But painting in the crack, man, look,
First video.
paint over that.
First video, real or nah?
cornhole. Reddit, will I be the butthole if I give the restaurant the name and phone number of my Tinder date who literally just got up and left after the meal when it came up that we should split the check? I'm sitting here now trying to decide what to do. She and I never discussed this dinner being my treat, and this is the place she suggested. I have half a mind to separate the checks, pay mine, and leave her info on her check for the restaurant to sort out. Technically, she dined and dashed. I'm going to preemptively tell you now, this wasn't because I tried to get laid by just buying dinner, and I'm not a creep. Edit, in our conversations, I suggested coffee for our first meetup, for those wondering. Update, sweet karmic justice. Upon moving to the bar and talking to the bartender, I found out that this girl had an open tab before I arrived. She left her driver's license at the bar. According to the bartender, she's a sucky tipper and she's probably next door trying to get free drinks at the pool hall. Since her tab was open and she's probably coming back anyway, he agreed to move her food items over to her tab. He said, F it, it's not like she's gonna tip me anyways.
But you got a coffee shop next door to a pool hall? What kind of town you living in, dude? What is?
Is this like a Walmart type of situation? You can just get anything and anything?
And then I'm like, you want to? I guess I think you kind of classified it as like a first date. They went to coffee. You telling me you can't cover whatever?
No,
That
he
meal
said
was?
she suggested coffee.
He suggested the date
coffee.
was
And then
coffee.
she suggested the better
But they
finer
didn't go.
restaurant.
Oh, okay. So
A pool hall.
this is gonna ruffle some feathers. Ladies, that are raising young men, because grown men, y'all should know better. You should teach your sons better. Ladies, you're raising a grown man, teach your son. You don't take no woman nowhere you can't afford to go. Don't do it. Because the proper response to this is, this woman I went out to eat with, she up and dipped on the date. That's called a bad date. Pay the tab, not her tab at the bar, but for the meal, her meal, your meal, pay for that, and you're done with her. All this extra stuff going to the bartender, and maybe I'll leave a number. That's some. Ooh, I was going to use another inappropriate term. I'm trying to learn to do better. But that's some weak sauce. Okay, you don't act like. Oh, I'm about to say it. Good gracious, it's so hard to do better nowadays. Look, I'm gonna say it anyway now. Are you the man or are you the woman in this particular situation? Because if you're the man, according to how I define being a man, which is probably more stone aged, I don't care. So whatever. But if you the man, then one, like I said, don't go nowhere you can't afford. Two, just pay for it and don't ever talk to her again. Three, what kind of simp shit are you on? Where you talking about I just leave her information on the check?
No, she
But
left her driver's license, dummy.
but that was at the bar. That's different. He was
Bar,
talking about writing
restaurant.
her information on the check.
Yeah.
Look, no disrespect to the hoes in the world, but don't be a hoe about it, dude. Just, I'm sorry.
Disrespect to the hoes.
Nah, because because hoeing is a respectable occupation if you are upfront about being a hoe. But he was being a hoe in the standpoint of like a free hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like a petty hoe. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about, well, she walked out on our date. First of all, your date sucked. She walked out on our date, and I think I should split the check. You just salty because she walked the hell out on your lame ass. Don't be a hoe about it.
Anna or Tracy, I don't even care at this point.
I'm too petty for this type of stuff to happen. As much as I try, I know the petty in me would come out if I'm on a date with some. First of all, if some guy asks me out, I'm not, first of all, going to be like, well, you pick the restaurant. I'm not picking some restaurant that's like super duper expensive. I'm picking some place that I know I can afford because the first thing out of my mouth is we're splitting the check. Because you're not about to get nothing out of me because you think because you pay for dinner, something going to happen. No, we just met. Boy, bye.
What's the going rate for sex nowadays? I didn't know that dinner was a down payment.
No, but some men think like that. Some men think if they pay for dinner, that means they get the draws. That's exactly how they think.
I know there's a lot of guys who do think that way, but I'm like, what's the going rate? Is that where this $40 on the nightstand came from? Because I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm gonna have to go back a little bit, and I've been out the game for a while now, and I understand that. I've been out the game for 20 years.
Things don't keep up with the rate of inflation, I guess.
If you take your significant date to McDonald's and Burger King and Red Lobster, if you want to be fancy and everything else, I get bro. You they ain't even a down payment. I don't even understand that.
I don't get it. Like,
what's wrong with going to McDonald's on a first?
No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. There's another line.
I'm just saying, if you just casually meeting this guy, it ain't like you go marry him.
If my first date is at McDonald's, then there's a couple things you can assume about me and her. One, neither of us have any problem going out in public without shoes on. Two, neither of us have a problem with wearing pajamas in public. Three, one of us probably ain't got all our teeth and we ain't even 30 years old yet. Phone number of my own. C.
What's wrong with meeting up? I don't see what was wrong with the guy saying let's meet for coffee. As soon as she said let's go to this restaurant, he should have been like, nope.
He should have been like, well, is this a date? And if so, are we splitting the check or what? Like, have whatever that weird conversation is. But I can honestly, and now granted, I'm out of the Stone Age. I never, not one time, Mickey, went on a date with somebody expecting to split a check. It ain't never happened.
I have never.
That's the first thing
I'm going out with friends.
I'm first
and found out it was more like a date and ended up with a check. But I ain't never went out on a date.
Y'all, we may have a problem.
That's more of a human thing, actually, because when I've tried to offer the half to a woman, and no, I asked you out.
Whoever does the asking should do the paying, but you can't. I can't take my significant. I can't take my first date and be like, "Hey, dude, the most expensive restaurant I know in Indianapolis is Ruth's Chris House Steakhouse. That's the most expensive.
I ain't never been there. That's just expensive.
That's the most expensive place. I'm not going to take him there and not feel like, okay, I got to pay at least my portion.
That was the point. That was my point that I was trying to make. Thinking back to my old days. Not now. I'm a grown man. Been out the
Here
game
it
for
come.
20 years.
Here it come.
We can agree on Red Lobster. I can agree with exactly what you said, Tracy. Exactly what you said. We need to split the check. You ain't gonna expect nothing after that. I agree with you. I take you to Ruth Chris. Hell would giving me a peck on the cheek.
There's something wrong with
That
you.
should know
What's wrong with
something
you,
with
boy?
you.
I know
That's something is
about to
wrong
go
with you.
down. I'm just telling you now. Something going
Why
down.
would you take
Absolutely.
someone that you ain't already
You
bumping
expect
uglies with to Ruth
Ruth
Chris
Chris
anyway?
house? Thank you.
If I ain't already took your temperature from the
I
inside,
done made
ain't
an
no
investment.
way I'm going
You
for
gonna
Ruth
get
I
a
done
Chris
made
with
an
you.
investment. I want to see my returns. I done made an investment. I want to see my returns.
Now,
You
I done
gonna
seen
see a
your
nice
birthday
return when I
suit.
said thank you for the nice date. Hope we can meet up again. But ain't
I
nobody
will
sleeping with you
flip-
because you buy a date at Ruth's
I will
Steakhouse.
flip all
No.
your. I will flip all your food over if you.
And you
No.
still gonna be paying
Why?
that.
No, see that's the problem. So first of all,
Whoa.
one, don't take no woman to somewhere that expensive and you ain't already hitting it anyway. What the hell wrong with you?
I have to agree with you on that one.
Two, and this is my personal philosophy that I don't know where I picked it up. This is what I roll with. You do not pay for sex. You pay for the experience. So if the experience is such that creates an environment that she wants to then have sex with you, then that's a win. But you didn't pay to have sex. If you were paying to have sex,
That's
go get you a
prostitution.
prostitute.
Yeah, you
Just
just
go
go
get one.
hire a prostitute. Be like, hey,
You're
I
better
got
off
50
anyway.
bucks.
Go get a real prostitute because she know to shut her mouth and she don't even care nothing about you no way. You just have a good time and go on about your business. Even exchange of services.
And
So
she's
you-
not really there for conversation in the first place.
I paid to eat.
Exactly.
That's all you paid to do. You did not pay to sleep
There's
with
no
me.
dating
wait,
side of the
let me-
menu and
let me
fucking
just
side of the
finish.
menu. There's not
Let me
that
finish.
doesn't.
Yeah, I paid $100.
I paid-
You got to sleep me. Now you got to get out of my face is what you got to get.
to eat. I agree with you. I paid to eat. Your ass to dessert.
Ain't
Well, I
nobody
get-
buying that.
You better take this Thin Mint and go on about your business,
Thank
homeboy.
you for real though,
Mm-hmm.
because you sure about to get knocked out.
But that's
'cause
just it, though. That's just it, though. I mean,
I'm
and I
giving
think
you
that's
the courtcy of my presence, and
Obviously,
you
I'm just joking.
yeah, we
but
being
I
silly
agree
and
with
everything. Don't get me
nah,
wrong.
cause see,
But
I'm
there's
getting
really
mad now.
dudes.
I'm just nah.
But
There's
we
really
have a
dudes
we
that
have
think
a
that they
we
spend
have
some money
a
and that obligates them somehow.
Yeah, I spent $20. You spent what, bruh? Get out of my
Man,
face.
okay, Tracy. You about to get somebody slapped in the damn mouth. I wish the hell you would come out your mouth talking about I gave you $20. What the fuck? That's gas, dude. Shut the.
That's what I said. Boy, shut up.
Throat. Say it again. Say it again. Well, put you to the throat. See, they
I
talk about
paid
some
for
$20
this whole
dollars.
dinner. Yeah, but it was at Chick-fil-A. What?
It was at 2 for 25, baby. That's two
what?
for 25.
They had the
Look,
special
Coming
2
out with a
for
$20
$11.
bill and
What?
some coupons. Man, I'll punch
Now,
you
first,
in the
hey,
doggone
now,
throat
wait now,
bragging
wait
about
now.
that.
I ain't never went on a date with coupons, but I'm just saying, Groupon is not a bad thing. I'm just
Shoot,
saying,
now they with group coupons. That shows you thrifty with your money.
it
and
ain't
you
none of
trying
your
to
business
save.
how I paid for this. All
Sure
you need to know is that I paid for
Pay
this.
for it. If you're paying you them
Pay
coupons,
more.
I'll pull out some coupons and be like, use this one, use this one,
Yep.
use this one.
Yep.
Boom. I don't got no problem with it.
Sit
None.
there at the table and cut up that that little circular right
Get
there in
them
front of
little
me.
scissors, like, okay, here.
I'm
Use
so
this.
damn glad I'm off the board. Y'all, boy, man. Oh, bruh.
Just don't take me to Taco Bell. That's all I ask. Just don't.
Cause you ain't farting in my car.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have a picnic.
We don't even got to worry about that. You the safest person in the world worried about going to Taco Bell. You ain't finna snake up my damn car.
Marlon, I fixed it. This is what you do. What you do is you plan a picnic for her, right? And see, that way it seems like it's a little out of the box. It's in a public place. It's kind of nostalgic. It's sweet. It's all those wonderful things. But what she don't know is you had a pocket full of coupons, so you knew you had to go over here to get breadsticks, and you had to go over here to get the little main dish. And see, but when she sees it, she just sees this wonderful basket that you borrowed from your mama, and you pull out all this food. and you know you spent $18, but she's got a whole spread. See, look at that. That's wonderful.
First thing
Look
out
at
of her mouth is, "I ain't sitting on no damn ground."
You consider it park benches?
It all depends on who you're dating.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, I wouldn't do that
But
anyway.
y'all
I'm
stop
going
for
to a
second
restaurant because I
we
like
do
air
really
conditioning.
have a system issue. We have a system issue that's going on YouTube right now, and I have to work out some things because said stop. She said stop it, and he helped paint his side. So
Yeah, but she's stressed help. So you apparently ain't do
what
much, bro.
happened? Well, no. What happened is somebody done hacked my wife's YouTube
Mhm.
account and posted it, and I don't feel comfortable. So what I think I need to do is ban whoever this is and get
You
them the
trying
hell
to
off.
sleep
I don't
on the
know if
couch?
that's safe,
He
bro.
wants to sleep on the couch. That's where he wants to be.
Marlon, I keep hearing giggling, so I think the killer's in the house. Okay,
Mhm.
so I don't think you should ban them.
Oh, all right.
It's too late. They already inside.
We're going to go on to the next one. Real or
So I started a new job about 2 years ago, and I finally found a job that I'm naturally good at, which has been amazing because my performance has been top notch. I've had no disciplinary actions, and I've even gotten a few awards. So I started helping out my fellow coworkers when they were struggling, and especially helping out the newbies who just got off training. Our training is garbage generic training for 3 weeks, which has literally nothing to do with our sector. And we're literally told to forget everything we learned because it just doesn't apply to us. So, naturally, our newbies struggle a lot at the start, and that tanks the performance for the entire team. So, I wanted to be a good team player now that I finally felt like I knew what I was doing, but apparently that was a mistake on my part. After 3 months of helping my team, I was called into a meeting with our coach to discuss my behavior. I was told that I wasn't allowed to help my coworkers because I'm not trained in that field, and only the higher-ups are supposed to answer questions and make decisions within our job. And that would be fine and understandable if the coach was available for the entire 8-hour shift to answer questions and help people, which they aren't. I pointed this out along with some statistics that since I started helping out, our performance has gone up each month. And it helps the newbies feel welcome because they have a non-superior coworker they can ask questions to without needing to worry about it. This was another mistake on my part. Our coach got really angry, and I was basically told that this is how it is, and if I'm caught giving unsanctioned help again, I'll receive disciplinary action. Okay, fine. Have it your way, you sad, pathetic excuse of a human. I screenshotted the conversation, dug up performance reports prior to me helping, during me helping, and for the next 3 months without me helping. And wow, shocker, we started tanking in our performance. How could this have happened? So the entire team got called into a big meeting with the higher-ups, our manager and our coach to discuss what the hell is going on and why we're doing so awful. I let everyone speak their piece, and at the end of the meeting, I just asked if I could have 5 minutes of one of the big chiefs' time, because I think I might just have a solution to help improve our performance. He was actually surprisingly interested, so he called me up after the meeting to hear me out. I told him about the whole situation, showed screenshots, performance results, the whole 9 yards. This dude was visibly shook, a bit lost for words to be honest, but he said that he really appreciated the input and he would look into fixing this internally, and that was that. 3 days later, our coach resigned to search for greener pastures. F you.
Oh, this is real. This is 1,000,000% real. This is so real.
Happens
Did
every
they
day,
go
B.
to this? I want to know, did they go to my last job and just take it? That is exactly what happened.
I'm not saying that this couldn't be real.
This is
All I'm saying is this is
real.
what the part that's hard for me to get. I'm the best employee ever. I've done nothing wrong. All I did was help. All I did was I ain't get a write up. My performance is top notch. Hell, they wanted to make me the CEO at one point, but I said nah because I like working on the floor. I'm just that ain't my thing, and all of it. I'm like, bro, come on now, dude. I get that the rest of it may be right, but you making yourself. They was gonna sell the company to me for $1 because they knew I was gonna make billions. And bro,
Y'all still listen to the same story.
well,
Yeah.
I listened to that story. At the
this
very
is
beginning, that thing
real.
was like, I was the best performer.
yeah.
I love my job. I never got no written up. I'm like, okay, good for you, Skippy.
Sometimes the
But
facts are
damn,
just the
why
facts.
you-
It was funny
why-
to me is the way the story opened up. I immediately went to, wait a minute, so you apparently used to get written up a lot. Yeah,
And sometimes you
I
just
never
be in the
got
wrong
written
job.
up. I was the best
No.
performer on the floor.
if you catching write-ups,
the
if you
CEO
catching
As
write-ups,
a
would ask
person,
me questions.
no, I'm gonna disagree with y'all. As a person that has been involuntarily dismissed from several jobs, I can relate all to this story. You get in these jobs, you hate it. They hate you, you hate them. You don't want to be there. They don't want you there. So they say, here's your notice. We see you later. You really can't come back from that. Trust me, this happens all the time. If you
what was your role in these situations, Tracy?
I'm not saying I wasn't suited for those jobs, obviously, but once you find something that you're suited for, that's when you shine. If you're in the wrong position and you know you're in the wrong position, you're gonna act out by getting write-ups, by being late, because you really, at the core, you don't care. Some people. That's how I did, because I was like, I really don't want this job, but I took it because, I got bills to pay.
Well, I appreciate what you just said because I can't separate the manager in me from things. So you took a job that you didn't really want. You're at a company that you don't really like working at, and I can definitely relate to that because good gosh, I got those stories. But even then, jobs I hated. I wasn't catching write-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like I hated it.
If you get a petty manager, oh my goodness, I'll bring you up because you were 3 seconds late. Really?
I mean, I guess you can have that.
I'll tell you one thing that's so funny. And this is my story. I blossomed in my job.
Aww.
No. There's a catch to it. It ain't a pat me on the back situation because they don't know, and it don't matter now if they know or not anyway now. Because when I started there, it was like, I really don't like this job. I really don't. I'm doing it because now I have a family. I just got married, and I got sick and tired of my wife looking at me going, "Boy, you unemployed again." So I just like, I'm gonna stick this one out and work my way through it all.
I did not look at you like that.
Wow. You know, maybe she should get on camera.
She looked at me one time.
Come on.
Theas, tell the truth. They don't say it, but you know that look that they have that they give you. They're not gonna say it, but it's the same look. So it's like I lost the job that I had.
Okay. It's okay, baby. We'll get through it.
It's okay. You know, deep down they going, boy, this is a lazy
sorry, Joker.
What in the what?
It depends on why you lost it.
I know I should have stayed with Terrence.
And you get a divorce.
Terrence.
So, but here's the deal. So I didn't like the job. So, I'll tell the story at a later date. I'm not even going to get into it now, but let's just say it was one performance that almost literally killed me. Not hyperbole, like literally killed me. So at that point, I literally said, you know what? I just don't care no more. And I remember distinctly what the owner of the company said to me that helped, and I'll never forget it because he said, you got to realize that not every job is for every person.
Marcy, yes.
And I was like, okay, that's true. So I stopped caring. Like, whatever. So when I stopped caring, for some reason, I got better. Like, I'm just going to do stuff and whatever and everything else. And the next thing you know, promotion to this final promotion.
Yeah, you had to get
and
out
all was based off of, I just don't care. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what they ask. And I'm just going to, beat it. I'm out of here.
And see, like I said, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and that's the reason why I train people under me the way that I do to get the freaking job done. The rest of that stuff that they try to do and everything else, and you need to do this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. And then when they come to me to train, because we have different sites, which means different rules. And I always look at them, and when they come to me, I'll go, okay, I'm gonna need you to do this. Okay, well, where do we write this down at? Where do we monitor this? Where do we put this in the computer? For what? Well, we got to keep track of it. What the hell we don't? For what? Why are we keeping track of this? Well, that's how it was at the other place. Pardon me. Did the job get done? Yeah. Do you have a record of the job get done? Yeah. Okay, we need to move on to the next thing then. I ain't got time to try to go through 50 pages of the same questions.
I feel you there.
I wind up with every person but one still have their job or they became supervisors. Get the job done. Now, that's why I've jumped on this person at the very beginning of this video with the whole, I ain't never got written up and taken care. The CEO used to come down and ask me questions about the company. That's why I was like, bro.
This is definitely real.
Come on with that.
Definitely
Come on with that BS, because I know I've been written up like I knew the inside of the office, and I had my own pen to write my name on whatever piece of paper they was going to ask me to sign, because I knew it. I ain't even going to waste your time. Well, you know, while you here, yeah, just go ahead and give me the paper because I got to get back to work. And I just signed a piece of paper. So I know that you kind of like, bruh, you may have helped, but please stop with this whole, I was the best thing. President Obama called me from out of the blue to tell me how great I was.
He did not say that. He simply said, hey, look at the time when I wasn't helping. The time when I was helping. And then what happened?
Not that. The very beginning of the video, I never got written up. I was the best
Those
performer.
are facts.
Everybody came to me after training and asked me questions and everything, which could be true. But
yeah, because sometimes training, like I said, training in the I field, it's terrible. You never really use what you learned in training on the floor. You never do. Matter of fact, just like him,
I started my job per time.
No, I've worked jobs that I've completely hated. Pretty much every job prior to this one except two, I've hated. So I 100%. But like I said, the manager in me just can't get past certain pieces. Like Marlon was saying, do your job. We got people who get a job and they just got the job. Ain't been on the job for more than 3 weeks. And they angling for a promotion. Slow down.
oh yeah, this is
Do the
how to
job.
succeed in business without really trying.
Not too long ago, things, I'm not lying. Not too long ago, I was training somebody because I was going somewhere. I was going on vacation or something. I trained somebody and they up and disappeared. And I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't, that type of job and everything. It happens. Maybe they messed up somewhere. I really honestly didn't even think anything about it. Just out of the curiosity, my supervisor, who's also one of my close friends, who would know the answer to this, I was like, well, what happened to such and such? Oh, she all of a sudden came in and said that she wanted to be transferred to South Carolina.
Oh no, honey, you ain't been here.
Wait a minute. How long she was here? About a month.
But that could have been for unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
Maybe her
So-
spouse moved. Maybe her spouse moved. Or her mother got
No,
sick.
no. Trust me, I would never tell this story if it wasn't for a good reason. So, because I thought about everything you just said, Tracy. So, what's up? The family is moving there, or what's going on? Why did she all of a sudden? Oh no, she just wanted to go. I'm sorry. Say that again. No, she just felt like that she wanted to have a new life, so she just wanted to go. And since we wouldn't transfer, she quit.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything wrong with any of this.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with what she did. Y'all denied her the transfer. She said, okay, I'm bouncing.
I'm a help y'all out on what's wrong with this. Why would I transfer you when you don't know jack squat about the job yet?
So you said no.
Yeah,
And
you
she
said
said
no.
goodbye.
And she said, okay,
That's
I'm
what I
going
mean.
anyway. I mean, just
Why
let
would
it
I
go.
give you somebody else's problem? Hey, come on.
But
No,
Marlon, she said, I
Wait a
want to
minute.
be
Hold on.
transferred to
Hold
South
on,
Carolina.
everybody. Wait a minute. Sound
Sound is bad. Sound is bad.
Sound bad for me. Am I the only one? Is anybody else having problems
I'm
with the
not,
sound?
but
Because Susan seemed to be the only one that's having an issue.
I
And she
don't know.
just
I'm
said
not.
she'll be
I'm not.
right
I don't
back. So
have it
Susan,
playing right.
it may be you. You may have to just reboot the.
booted, yep.
You may not even have to reboot. You may just have to shut down YouTube and just come back on.
So
That
the
you
thing
can fix.
with dude with this little video we just had. So the first part, that's the first thing that screamed out to me was like, so you must have just been catching write-ups all the time, and now you got a job that you enjoy and you like to do, so you're not catching write-ups. Not catching write-ups is not a reflection of doing a job well.
Come back is fine. Now. So it was just Susan.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Susan.
Not being written up is like an expectation. You shouldn't be getting written up. Then helping with your department, that's good. That's nice. But there is a structure there. There's a hierarchy there. And if the person whose role it is to train is not doing a good job of training, but that person's role is to train, and they come to you and they say, hey, hands off. Take your damn hands off. And then he did everything he was supposed to do, took his hands off, monitored everything so it couldn't blow back on him later. And then when the time was right, he spoke to the next level up and let them know what his perspective of the situation was. And that person then was able to react because that same person who was pushing him back was also gatekeeping so that his boss didn't know, right?
Yep.
So all of those things are fine. I'm cool with all of that. Where he lost me, because I was with him all the way through. Where he lost me was the ha 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 crap.
Yeah, you don't gotta be petty.
So
I mean, he kept it real petty.
yeah, you are a cancer, sir or ma'am. You're a cancer because you are going to destroy that department. Because everything about you is about you. All this storytelling you just showed, you showed at the very end your nature. You're celebrating someone else leaving the company as though you were the one who got them fired, and you like it. I would not want to work for that person. That person is all about themselves.
I know I can be petty, but he took it to that next. He took it a level.
He did.
I'm like, dude, look, petty man. But everything else, like when somebody tells you, "Hey, I want to transfer," okay, it's probably a little early. So she said, "Hey, okay, I'll just quit. No harm, no foul." Yes, it's annoying to you probably, but if you think about it, she didn't waste your time anymore.
Yep.
You don't have to pay her anymore. You don't have to see her anymore, and you can move on to the next person.
Yep.
No harm, no foul. Or no foul, no harm, or whichever
people
one.
Come, people go.
Yeah, that was the real revealing part, the last part. So
He had that evil J.R. Ewing laugh, though.
I was physically ready to start working after the kids finish college, but we like to eat, so I'll be working.
Until they retire and hit the lottery.
That eating thing gets in the way, man.
That whole eating and living in a house thing.
See, that's, and I'm kind of confused on a couple of things because now I know that's her, but I think right around the time I said that I need to ban that person, then she comes out and threatened me. And I don't feel comfortable now.
I don't see
on
a threat
my
here.
own show.
She's just making sure you know what's gonna happen.
So
she's setting the expectation.
No, actually, she's not even setting expectations. I'm looking at it. She said, "Try it, mister." Meaning, hey, as you have counseled us on the panel, you're free to do whatever you want to do, as long as you're willing to accept all that comes with it.
Yep.
That's what I read. I think
accept those consequences, Marlon. Accept.
I think that sounded more like she was honoring your leadership and following behind the tempo that you've set. That was nice. That was supportive. That was also, bro, I wouldn't ban her if I was you.
I was gonna say, if you know what's good for you, Marlon, which I think you do.
Throw that out there.
You know what? There's gonna come a time. I believe this in my heart. I really do. There's gonna come a time when we're gonna grow this channel. We're gonna grow it large. We're gonna grow it to be stable, to stand on its own. We're gonna invite more people to come in, and we're just gonna grow it to be really big. I believe that in my heart. That's why I do what I do. That's why we all do what we all do. And I always said I want to get to a point where we grow it so large that I can start paying the people who come on here because they have bills too. You know, I'm not naive. I don't. They have time that they put into this. They have energy that they put in this, and that's what I want to get to the point where we can start paying people to be on this show. I believe in that, and I really want it to happen really fast. And the reason that I even say all of that is because I want to get to the point where I can fire every last one of you people right here on the show, cut your check, don't get paid, cut the fee.
Like I ain't never been dismissed from a
Wow.
job before.
Can
Like
you
you really
transfer
gonna
me to
hurt?
Puerto Rico, sir?
I mean, just for real. Like
Puerto
you.
Rico. And Tracy, that's not a good thing to brag about.
I'm just saying your
Yeah,
little
like
threats
the
don't scare me.
platform.
It's not like your threat of firing me scares me. I'm like, bro, I'd have been down this road. I bounce back.
Yo,
You knock
Tracy.
me down, I'm gonna get
Yo,
right
Tracy.
back up.
He might fire all of us, but you know who he won't ban? That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, for real.
Ooh.
You can fire every last one of us, but you
Like
know
we
who's
can't
still
go
gonna
out like we don't got YouTube
Yeah.
channels of
You
our
know
own.
who's still gonna be in your comment section?
Thea's post every leap year, and sure, I post 18 times a week. So we got options. Your friends don't scare nobody. I mean, I'm just for real.
Man, you know what? Whoever this is, stop it. No. The thrill is gone. So everybody's favorite part of the show, not Foxy's videos of the week. Yeah, I said what I said. This bears repeating for the longest time. I know I'm beating a dead horse on this. I know this is even an old topic, but it's one of those things that we literally, me and Theus was talking about yesterday. Was that just because it's not in the forefront of your mind, just because it ain't brand new news and anything like that, just because you can't see it and it ain't the brand new flavor of the week or whatever, that this is one of those things that you got to constantly keep putting in their head over and over and over again. So maybe I am beating a dead horse, but it bears repeating as many times as I possibly can be said.
I was on a Zoom call this morning with some other pastors from around Oklahoma discussing some of the issues facing our country. One pastor chimes in and says, I just believe you can't even be a true Christian and say Black Lives Matter because all lives are sacred to God. Of course, I immediately pipe in and I'm like, sure you can. In a real condescending way, he says, you just explain it to me then. Okay, cool. Let's pretend like your house is on fire. You call 911 because the blaze is getting out of control. Now, when they respond, instead of coming directly to your house, they go to every house in the city and put water on it. That wouldn't be a problem for you, right? Because all houses matter. I said in the same way, the communities of our black brothers and sisters are on fire with discrimination and injustice, and we just keep pouring water on every other house. All lives can't matter until black lives do.
Can I give that guy a standing ovation? Because that's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what literally that kills me when they even sit there and try to pull that little BS all lives matter. Look, here's the deal. This is why I know when you're BS. When you pull out all lives matter, You was offended that the word black was even in that sentence. You were so offended that you had to come up with something brand new to say. You were so offended that you tried to counteract the word black. Because think about what I just said. Think about what he just said. What's the only word that you changed in the whole Black Lives Matter slogan? Black. That's the only word that you changed in it. And you
That's the only
changed it
word
to
you
all.
silenced.
And by the way, just to help everybody else, I'm not even going to change it to Black Lives Matter too. No.
Nope.
No, because you don't believe that either. You're trying to say stuff to make yourself feel better, and we're literally trying to do the opposite. We're trying to make you uncomfortable so you can see what's really going on in this country. We're not trying to make you feel better about your life. Your life is pretty damn cool compared to the bullshit that black people have to go through. That's the point we was making when we said it. And you still trying to, but all lives matter. You really don't even think that. Hell, half of y'all don't even think blue lives matter. When you said it out your mouth, you don't even believe that statement. And that's been proven. Literally been proven. It's not even me saying it just to be saying it. It was proven. You don't believe that bullshit when it comes out your mouth. Because it really means blue lives matter, depending on if they're on our side. And I know, like, again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but this is me saying, I don't want you to forget the enemy. I don't want you to forget they're out there. I don't want you to forget they're still out there. I don't want you to forget that because you don't see or hear from them, and they're not on CNN, and they're not on Fox, and they're not in the newspaper, and they're not on Facebook, and they're not on your Twitter page 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that they're asleep. They're not asleep. When I figure that I'm not hearing from them, I go from they're not asleep, they're plotting.
Or they're just not being shown to you.
Yeah.
One of the two.
It ain't like
keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah, police killings didn't stop. They just stopped being shown on CNN. So Black Lives Matter. I've never really been a fan of that slogan anyway. Because to me, you're going to someone trying to convince them that you matter. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like like a better slogan to me would just be stop killing us. That's it. Stop killing us. Right? That's it. See, Black Lives Matter is almost a plaintive statement. It's like, please see us. Please recognize our humanity.
Please don't go to the They See Us Now card. Please don't.
But that's where they're headed. That's what now granted, I support Black Lives Matter for what they were doing and what they're trying to do and all those different things, because at least they're doing something. But it's just this. First of all, there is no right slogan. Let's just be real clear there. Like, there's no right way to protest. There's no right way to sloganeer. It's just not. If you said Black Lives Matter too, they would have said something about that as well, right? So because then they would have said Black Lives Matter too, and they would have taken off the O and added a who, and now it would have been Black Lives Matter to who. You know what I'm saying? So it's that whole asking for permission and acceptance from people that you really should just be fighting. That's just how I feel. So whatever. I think it's important for Black people to uncenter whiteness, center Blackness, right? What are the terms from the 90s or 80s perhaps was Eurocentric and Afrocentric. Maybe because we're used to those terms, we won't be as upset if we hear those. Be Afrocentric. Being centered on your community does not mean that you become negative towards anyone else's. It means you focus on your community and you uplift your community. Where I have a problem is when you do that, but you do it to the detriment of others. That's where I have a problem. So like, I am like, be pro-Black, be pro-Asian, be pro Native American or indigenous, be pro white, be pro everything. I don't care. Like if someone said I'm pro white, that's fine. Be pro white. Are you being pro white to the detriment of someone else? That's where we have a problem. And so Black Lives Matters is that my problem with that is just it's too plaintive for me. It's just too plaintive.
Do you have to make yourself feel better? This is how you find the mantra of yourself, your own self. Are you as good as you are, or you are as good as you think you are because you have to put people around you below you to make yourself feel that you're above them? And if you have to push down, if you have to punch down women, minorities, the poor, whatever, to make yourself bigger than what you are, then I will literally tell you you're not as good as you think you are. You're just not.
I was saying run your race. Run your race. Train, practice, prepare, build, do all the things you need to do to run your race. But if to run your race, you are, trying to trip the guy in the lane next to you, or you're sneaking dope into their water, or you're doing something to hinder your competition, that's where I have a problem. Look at the NBA. In the NBA, your top stars, they often play against each other outside of their competition. They scrimmage with each other. They work out with each other. They do all kinds of things. LeBron works with Steph Curry, works with all these different people. And then when it's game time, they're focused on their team. I think that's how it should be. I think we should have cooperative agreements and positive partnerships with other groups and other interests to move specific ideas and things like that. And you focus on things that are central to you for you. And just do that. I don't see why that's so hard, but I do have an idea of why, but I'm not going to say it.
Anybody else? All right. Now, this is what we've been saying for the longest time. This is the enemy.
We want the hundreds of political prisoners that are not being charged violently to be let free. And we think that they should not be denied bail and be given all these dystopian conditions.
You're looking for a criminal justice reform, and it seems to be a lot of overlap with what everyone's saying. And you have some people on the left.
So I think it comes to this one simple question: is what's a police officer's number one job? Is it to keep me safe, or is it to go home to his family? And some people would argue it's to go home to his family, but I would argue that his number one job is to keep all of us safe. And that's why they get that immunity, is so they can use, they can act in a certain way that they have to protect us, and they're given that stretch in the law to as far as that protection, so that they can.
That's the thing. You're not making the case for Ashley Babbitt right now.
I know, and I see how that, and that's like the my take on that would be a police officer's number one job is to make sure Ashley Babbitt got home safe, or one of us got home safe. So maybe a paradigm shift away from it's all about protecting, being protected by the law, and more about like how does that application of upholding their oath apply to protecting every citizen.
Now her ass needed to get shot. She broke through multiple layers that say don't go here, and then try to climb through a freaking window to attack a government official. Yeah, she needed to catch that bullet, and she caught that bullet. That's what happened. But these guys will never get it. Correction. Stop thinking they don't get it. They've always got it. It's just it wasn't personal to them, because it wasn't until these J6 knuckle draggers go to DC prison and they're like, yo, these conditions are horrible. Guess who's been telling you that?
Yeah, we've been saying that for years.
50, 60 years. that this thing ain't been upgraded since 1952. You didn't care then because your folk wasn't in there. So that's why I'm like, stop pretending like these people ain't get. First of all, white people are like 20% of the world population and they hold like 90% of the world's power. You don't get to be that effective and that powerful by being ignorant. Stop thinking people aren't as smart as they are. Stop underestimating your opposition. The people who are actually against you, the ideologues who are against you, they have studied. They work hard to keep things the way they are. These people aren't rubes. That's why I didn't like when they were talking about all these people. Oh, they were being tricked by Trump and blah, 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 blah. No, they chose Trump. They weren't tricked. They chose Trump.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
Yeah, I would go disagree on
No,
something
Trump
too.
ain't
I
tricked
disagree.
nobody. He chose Trump.
They did, but what was that child saying? I literally was trying to like follow.
Oh, he was stuck in a loop. He didn't know what the hell was going on.
I'm like, when you send someone to speak on your behalf, and hopefully on the 23rd I do a better job than he did. Know what your message is. Be able to communicate it in a way that's understandable. Because he went in so many loops that I literally got lost. I'm like, what are you saying? You bring up Ashley Babbitt and then you say the reform. I'm like, are you for it? Are you against it? I just kept saying this poor child don't know what he wants. He just kept talking and looping it. They didn't send their best when they sent him.
No one sent him, first of all, and then second of all, he was if you get them in a serious direct conversation, you will always end up where he was. Because as he's talking, he starts to hear himself and he knows which words he can't use. So he's trying to work through this thing and he keeps seeing where it's bumping into something that's going to be a problem.
You know what? Well, he should have said, and I would have had more respect. Perhaps you need to talk to someone more knowledgeable about this than I am. I will always respect that over, let's talk about Ashley Babbitt. And then she shouldn't have got shot. The police is just, it's okay for you to say you don't know. There's nothing wrong with you saying I don't know. And clearly he didn't know.
No, but
this is what I'm going to push back on Thea's on one thing. When you said they're not intelligent, I mean they're intelligent. No, they're not.
Why not?
But here's the deal. Here's the funny thing about it is because that's not what they're chosen to be. They wasn't chosen to be intelligent. They was chosen to do exactly what it is that they're doing right now. You're chosen to give the money to the rich and powerful whites who are intelligent. You're chosen to be a mouthpiece, regardless if you know what the hell you're talking about. Because quite honestly, I done listened to that video like 3-4 times. I have yet to figure out what the hell direction he was going. He was just flowing with whatever the question was, and even at that point, you suck at it. But then I have to come to the realization but that's not what your job was, because you're doing your job right now is to show up in the American flag draped over your shoulder, show up at these things to give great numbers to show the American people that this fascist movement is going on. That was your job. It wasn't your job.
What about that makes him not intelligent?
He's not intelligent on this subject.
Right.
Yeah, nobody said he wasn't intelligent.
He could probably build you a log cabin in the woods. I ain't saying that he ain't intelligent, but when it comes to certain subjects of this matter, he wasn't, because he wasn't picked to be one.
I do get what you're saying, in that his role was to be cannon fodder and to be on the vanguard. I get that. I get that. He was enlisted to be part of the masses. But my point is, we have to stop taking agency away from people. We have to stop selling people short because it makes us feel better to think of them as like less intelligent, less informed, or less adept. They're winning. So how
No, but
smart are
nobody.
we if they're winning?
No, but we
So-
didn't say he wasn't not intelligent. We just said in this one area.
No, now we're
He-
talking about in this one area. That's not how we led into it. Because my statement was that these guys are they're not stupid. They're literally, they chose Trump. They weren't tricked. That was what I was saying. They weren't tricked
Well,
into
they
following
wanted
Trump.
Trump because he spoke to their racist, fascist views.
Perhaps, but all of them aren't motivated by racism and fascism. And that's the other part. Like, we want to put everybody in these little box because it's easier for us. Like, I guess what I'm trying to get to. We're putting people in boxes because it's more convenient for us. But it doesn't help us with the fight we have to fight. Some people, they are not motivated by race. They are not racist. They just don't care about race. They're more focused about their individual family dynamic, and they'll use that as their justification to join this movement. Then you have others who are they have this weird view of America that's almost raceless because all they've ever had to worry about is being themselves. They don't even think of themselves as white. So when you sit there and keep calling them white, they get offended because they don't see themselves that way. So they're not being motivated by animosity. They're being motivated by what their version of love is. So each of these people have different motivations for how they get into this massive thing. But we generally, not you guys, we generally want to write them off as being like foolish almost. And I'm like, no, that's not how you win the fight. That's not how you win the fight, in my view. You're going to get in the ring with somebody, you need to know what their tendencies are. But,
them people racist.
All of them aren't racist.
Okay.
I'm serious. Like, I think, all right, it's like,
I get what you're saying because, and this is the whole.
They might be okay with racism.
There you go.
But that doesn't mean they're
okay
racist.
with it.
You're not. I agree with you to a point. Not all of them are racist. But if you're still on that side, you may not be racist, but you don't give a damn if it happens.
No, I agree.
Because again, and this is correct, because again, you're talking about you. So when people are offended when you say white people and you're the first white person to jump up and go, I'm not racist. You may not be racist, but you saw what the hell was going on with black people, Latino people, Native American people, and since it didn't really affect you, you didn't lift a finger.
And that's kind of where I'm trying to head with this is it's kind of like if someone came to you, Marlon, because like you and I are pretty close on our political side. So if somebody came to you because you're on the left and, you're talking about all the different things that Trump has done and the reason why he should be, prosecuted or at least investigated and all those different things, right? And their response to you is, but Biden, that doesn't matter to you because you don't like him either. So when you go to someone who's Team Trump and you're like, you're a racist, they're like, no, I'm not. I don't like racists either. You know what I'm saying? But I do like the fact that I am interested in the fact that these trade agreements have crippled the town that I come from, so that my cousins and everybody in my family has had to move away because there's nothing here for us. And America has turned its back on my whole community, and we're out here struggling and suffering. But all you want to talk about is what's happening with black people and what's happening with poor people and what's happening with all these people. What about us out here in Arkansas that ain't had a damn job in 5 years? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to go at the right thing if you're trying to convert or get through to someone. If you're not interested in converting someone and you just want to fight them, then you just need to fight them. But we won't do that either, right? We don't want to do either one. We want to do pieces of each. And that's how you lose.
And I'm going to put this comment on because I already have my answer to it. Racism exists on both sides. racism do exist on both sides. It's only affecting one side though.
Oh
And that's the point that you keep missing when people come up. I'm getting these before.
Yeah, what they call black people racist.
What they call black people racist.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it
We
is
might be
being
bigots.
racist only affects one side of the racism. There is not one person, there's not one white person that's out there right now slumming it because they're white. I promise you, there is not
because they're
one
white. You're right.
person
Yep.
right now that sit there slumming it, that sit there and lost their job, that sit there and homeless, that sat there and anything else that we can say, that sits there and can march on the streets right now and not get bombarded with rubber bullets, with tear gas, and anything else simply because of the color of their skin. This is the weekend that we.
Well, there might be a couple out there.
Tracy, let me say this real quick. Tracy, you was in the march today.
Yeah.
How many tear gas bombs were thrown?
None.
How many cops was out there?
3.
Catch it? Do you get the
No,
point?
they're not going to catch that. But see, the thing about it is no one's really educated. And we don't have to be. So we don't. You know? Because education, information gets in the way. It really does. It gets in the way. It's harder for you to be angry about certain things when you know better. So it's so nice to say. That's what I'm saying. First of all, what story was this and where did you get it from?
Yeah, because I want to
know. I got a second thing. I got a second one, but go ahead, Theus.
No,
I got a second question.
But here's the thing. We're not in a... Well, I'm not interested in the pain Olympics, right?
Yeah, I got more pain.
You go find
I'll
one.
suffer more than you have.
You go find a white person who got discriminated against, and then compare them on a mass scale or just proportional against any other group in the type of issues that they run into. Because like right now, a lot of white men are feeling some kind of way because they feel like they're always under attack. They're always a bad guy. And it's like bad to be a white man. And my thing is, it's not that it's bad to be a white man. You still have like all the power. You still make most of the money. Now you individually may not be winning, but you're losing at a fixed game. Like the game is set up for you to win and you're losing. That's your fault.
Yes, that sure is. Like what
let me cut in real quick. And let me cut in real quick on that. One, first of all, Atlanta Thrasher, welcome. I know we just jumped on you and everything. That's not this.
I didn't jump on him. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just being. We welcome you here. This is the first time ever somebody on Twitch have said anything about it. 2, because you are new here, you may not know the common rule that we've already had is everything is, and I forgot what the word I always use. Everything absolutes. We're not playing absolutes. We don't do that. And the reason I say that is because you said there was a sign of said white people do not apply and everything else. And this is why I'm saying when we say white people, we're not going to do the whole thing with, I'm not that person that I know you're not that white person that we're talking about. The white people that we're talking about know we're talking about them. Yeah. But the second thing that you were saying is your last point was it does exist, maybe not in mass quantities. And the mass quantities is what we're concentrating on, not the fact that it does exist, which is why I even started off with the thing was what group gets screwed the most? Not that it doesn't happen to the white community, but my question was, who gets screwed the most?
Well, I'll push a little bit back on that one, Marlon, because most will get us into the competition of pain, right? But it's like this. First, we need to have a meeting of minds on what racism even means, right? Because different people have different definitions of it. because part of what I get from what this gentleman or this poster was saying is like, it may not be in mass quantities, like basically saying to scale, right? So most of the conversation is about, and I'm now I'm kind of speaking into it, but unemployment in America historically has always been twice for Black people what it is for white people. Doesn't matter if it's a boom economy, a bust economy, a recession, it doesn't matter. We're always twice. That's a systemic problem. Prison populations. We are 13% of the national population. Black men are only about 5% of the population, and yet Black men account for roughly 30 to 40% of the prison population. That is systemic, right? One store who has an owner who, whatever their justification is, I'm gonna give them a positive justification. First one is, I'm sick of y'all and I don't want to deal with y'all, so don't. Well, guess what? The way they went about it is probably illegal. So, address that.
I that you literally had the guts to put on the sign, no white people need to be allowed.
Right. Like, probably illegal. Address that. But you also kind of look at it as reactionary is not the same as being the one who is the protagonist, right? Or the antagonist. Because after 400 years of constant abuse and interruption and obstruction, how do you then blame the people who are under assault from saying, you know what? Here, I don't even want to deal with you.
And then
and this is what I say to this real quick. When you say everything or everyone, always, never, and absolute, I don't like these words because of the box they put us in. And this is what I say to this. And I'm cutting Theus off.
I agree with that statement he just made, though.
I was cutting Theus off for this reason. This is because the reason I even put that wording in was the fact that because we have been oppressed for so long, I don't want to try to find wording or take my time to find wording to not offend somebody. That's why I said this show is not built on absolutes. When I feel that I have to say something, that I feel that I have to have something that's going to come out, I don't want to sit here and pause and go, oh, I don't want to try to offend everybody. Because that's just not something that I am capable of doing. And I'll be totally honest with you. I'll even take back what I just said. I'm not capable of doing it. I don't want to. When I sit here and say the things that I say, and when I put at the very beginning that we do not work on absolutes, is because I am speaking to the people who are oppressing all minorities. Those people know who I'm talking about. Are you on mute?
No, I said I'm talking about Black folk.
And the deal is that I don't want to sit there and go, well, I got to make sure I don't say it this way because I don't want to offend this people. And well, I don't have time to do that. Otherwise, this would be a 4 or 5 hour show. I don't have time to do that. I have to get my point out. And if you're offended by it, maybe you need to check yourself, because if you watch this show long enough, you realize I literally do not go out of my way to bash every white person simply because of the color of your skin.
Yeah,
I bash your character. That's why I don't deal with, just like what white men are feel like they're being attacked. I'm not attacking you, your color. I'm attacking you because of what you have done, because of what you have oppressed on the people, and because of what you is, and we already know you.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, tell me what y'all know about me, because this would be important, because I need to see how y'all actually hear what I'm saying, because I think
you put Black politics ahead of everything else.
I do, but the reason why
tell you something, we're just telling you stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm answering the question.
Yeah, but it was in response to what he was saying about, like, he's attacking you, like the white Black thing. I want to be very clear, and then I'll leave this part alone for a minute. my focus is black first. It is. The rest of everybody's gonna have whatever lens they move from. But like, I think it was myself and Mickey had a really good back and forth at one point. I speak in generalities a lot of times because we'll be here all day if I try to speak in specifics. Can do it. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, Anna.
But sometimes you have to speak in generalities because there's enough of a sample size that you can move with a generality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can talk about white culture. I can talk about conservative ideology. I can talk all those. I can put those in big old buckets. But I can't say all white people. Can't do that.
No.
Because just read this comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tracy, except for you. We got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect. Put some respect on it.
But when we don't curse, you be like, well, this is your show.
This is your show. You do what you want to do.
But no.
If I may.
Yeah, please.
One of the best things that I keep in my head when I step into somebody else's house is if it don't apply, I let it fly.
Say that.
If it does not apply, let it fly. It's a great way to remember it. If we're not talking about someone like you, then you're all good. It's as simple as that. You're stepping into somebody else's house for a moment, and that's it.
You should meet my ex-wife. I could be like, are you hungry? What do you mean by you? Are you saying that you have to feed women because you're a man, LOL?
Yeah, that could be annoying.
I
can be annoying, but at the same time, then you got to understand what is. Yeah, absolutely. But I don't have time to sit here and nitpick everything. Everything.
No, girl. Hey, you know what? Here's the deal, Atlanta. This is the deal. This is what I'm going to tell you right now. That's why I said I ain't finna play this game. When I sat here and asked you, are you hungry? What do you want to eat? Because I get the concept of what you're saying. Are you hungry? What do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Oh, it don't matter.
You're
fucking lying. Stop that. Stop it. You do
want tacos and leave it at that.
I'm just saying,
you know what, Marlon,
I'm going to get it. Do you not understand what I'm going through to
That's
go?
Annoying.
I'm going to
Marlon,
get you something to eat.
I'm going to solve this for you. I'm going to solve this for you and every man out there. Oh, and I know some women as well. But if you ask your significant other, what do you want to eat? And they say, I don't know. Then you might want to start giving some hints to help them because it might coax them into helping you a little bit more. Because it could, hear me out. Because it could be, because they don't know what price range we're talking about. Are we talking about like a quick meal, a quick snack, or a dinner, right? So sometimes I don't know will help you give them just a little bit more information that they can work with. But if they say, oh, it doesn't matter, then just go get something. No more extra questions. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm going to Church's Chicken. That's it. I'm
about to say that, Tracy. Now I'm going to be the a-hole that's going to go to the food that I know you don't like that I do like.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Nope, you should have said what you wanted when I asked you.
I
sit here and take the time to say what you eat for dinner, and you go with the whatever card. I'm going right to Church's. Be like, give me a 5-piece.
If you want Church's, then you go to Church's.
No, but if I'm
but
asking
if
my
you
man,
know I don't eat Church's, and you go there to prove a backwards point,
no,
you are the a-hole.
No, I'm not. Because if I specifically say what. Sorry, go ahead, Marlon.
I am literally going to go out of my way to pick the place that I know you're not going to eat. Why? Because I've been with you for 20 years. Catch the hit. I'm not going to play this game with you. I can
are the
understand
a-hole.
No, I'm not.
No, it's not.
You are the a-hole.
When somebody takes the time and asks you, what would you like to eat for dinner? You, whatever. Okay, that puts churches in the realm of possibilities.
I agree with that statement.
Everything is in the possibility because you don't know.
I'm with you. I am with you. When they say it doesn't matter,
then
they have given up all options as far as what comes, right?
See, now you don't mess up Atlanta because now he wants churches. See?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, do it. Their chicken is awesome. Their chicken is good.
I don't know that that's chicken.
That is a chicken.
What?
I don't know that that's chicken. Them and KFC. I just have my doubts. But but my point is, when they say it doesn't matter, you now have carte blanche to pick whatever.
Any place I want.
Now,
churches.
here's where it reflects on you as a person. The type of person you are is when you purposely choose something that you know that they don't eat, and then you come home with it for them. That says a lot about you.
No,
so,
if you don't like churches, and I say, what do you want to eat? Then you better come up with something.
Then don't bring them back churches. Bring you back churches. Don't bring them back churches.
Hold on. This is the funniest comment I have ever gotten on this show. Ever. And I can guarantee you, I can tell when people are new. This is the funniest comment I've ever gotten. I'm sorry about the derailed the conversation.
Oh,
dude,
man.
you want something?
You go all late to the game. Oh, we go all over.
We go all over the place. Did you not notice how we went from racism and all this and everything else? But I don't want Church's chicken.
I do. Church's chicken is good enough for me.
Tune in tomorrow, same channel at 8 p.m. for the serious stuff. So really, you helping us do a tangent was a service, because if you let me hang out where I was, we gonna be serious. So
I'm just saying, don't do that. Whatever. Okay, Church's chicken is whatever. It's whatever.
So, but that's what I'm saying. That shows the character of the person you're in a relationship with.
Nope, that shows that when I ask you a question, you better have an answer.
My statement stands then. That is a reflection of how you view that person in your relationship. You've decided that because you didn't do this the way I wanted you to, I'm actually going to punish you by bringing you something that I know you don't want.
Hey, do you want Church's, KFC? No. Do you want Chick-fil-A? What is it that you want?
That's not what you said. What you said was you didn't give me a choice, so I brought something that I know you didn't want. That is an asshole move. That is a pure asshole.
It's a make up your mind. Don't say whatever when you know you clearly don't mean whatever.
It's the equivalent of knowing that your boyfriend, girlfriend has a peanut allergy, and because they didn't tell you what they want to eat, you bring them some damn hot boiled peanuts.
That is tacky. That's totally different. It is not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
They can't eat it either way.
No, it's not. You just don't like churches. You can't eat peanuts.
If they don't eat it, they don't eat it. You are proving a point by bringing them something you know they don't eat. You're better off to say, hey, I couldn't figure out what you wanted. So I knew I wanted Church's, so I picked me up a 3-piece. And then they'd be like, well, where's my food? I didn't know what you wanted. That's better than, so I wanted a 3-piece from Church's. I know you don't eat Church's, so here's your 3-piece too.
You better pick where you choose. You get the honor of being with me. Look at all of this. I'm just saying. I'm surprised in here.
Man, please. I this is funny. Ooh, new tangent. I love that one, Tracy. Where people think that they are the prize in the relationship. Then when I stop playing, screw that.
I'm finna move on real quick.
You fly, I'm fly too. What you talking about?
Yeah, my son said, okay, sis, what you want for dinner? You say, oh, no. And then she served you a peanut butter jelly sandwich. And you know good and well, you're like,
Now, if she knows I don't eat peanut butter and jelly, then I'm going to be like, so you already knew I don't eat this. You better been better off not giving me nothing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we got to fight. But if you don't know that I don't eat PB&J, and you make me PB&J, and you made you the same thing, you made you one too. All I got to do is sit here and eat my little humble ass PB&J because that's my fault. That was my dumb ass fault that didn't tell you to make me something other than this sorry ass sandwich. That's my fault.
I think we may have to watch Thea's now. He brought up murder by peanuts.
Yeah, murder by peanuts. I would never do that. Oh, you are allergic to peanuts. Let me go eat a whole bunch of them. That's just wrong.
That's what it sounds like to me.
No, that's like not liking churches is a preference.
You don't know that.
That's a preference. Who's allergic to?
Who are you to decide what they get to eat then? If it's their preference. Can they do it to you? Can they do it to you?
I'm putting on my diabetic meter.
Can they do it to you?
Well, let me go to the next video because I don't know if Tracy was stripping or what the hell was going
No,
on.
I pulled my arm out. If I was stripping.
I didn't know what kind of show this was about to be. I'm making sure I don't even know that route.
And then I pull it up.
What?
Let me tell you something, bro.
Tell me.
Let me tell you something, bro. I'm glad I didn't wear my tan suit because you over here tripping because she's showing an arm.
That is an arm. I mean, that's real. Literally.
I know what she just kept. It slowly kept going.
No, because I got to get it in the right place.
Where is she going?
So if I wore my tan suit, you would be deeply offended.
Depends on if you wear tennis shoes. I don't know.
You completely missing the reference.
Yeah, you sure
And if my tennis shoes match,
so we got for 15 minutes, so we got to go. So, yeah, let's go back to January 6th.
These January 6th hearings are nothing more than a partisan witch hunt. I'm glad Fox News is taking a stand and refusing to air them. The Democrats are abusing their power, and we should not stand for this. Wait, if the Democrats are abusing their power live on air, don't you think that's something newsworthy enough for a news organization to cover? Well, maybe it would be more newsworthy if it was anything more than just political theater, but the Democrats didn't even let any Republicans on the committee. First of all, every piece of testimony so far has been from Republicans, and there are literally 2 Republicans on the committee, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Oh, you know those 2 don't count. Those are rhinos, Republicans in name only. They were literally censured and are not supported by the GOP. Yes, and the reason they were censured was because of their participation in the committee. You can't complain that there are no real Republicans on the committee when part of your criteria for a real Republican is not being on the committee. Well, what about the 5 Republicans that Nancy Pelosi rejected? Pelosi only rejected 2 of the 5. That was Jim Jordan and Jim Banks, who were excluded because they would need to be investigated by the committee and therefore had a direct conflict of interest. McCarthy knew this would happen when he nominated them. And then when they were rejected, he threw a fit and pulled his other 3 nominations. Probably so you would have this exact same reaction you're having right now. Well, I haven't heard about that. I bet you're getting this information from your fake news liberal media. I only trust real sources like Fox News. So let me get this straight. You think the committee has no Republicans on it because anyone who participates in the committee isn't a real Republican. And you think Fox News is right to not air it because of the information you gained solely from watching Fox News. Yes, that is correct. Has anyone ever explained to you what circular reasoning is?
The only reason I even put this on.
That was good. He's going to be there all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sure is.
The only reason I even put that on is because that's the logic. This circular reason is moving the goalpost further and further away. Even when you catch on, and even when you try to explain, which by the way, at this point, please stop
trying. Just stop.
They know. It's really just at this point, you're just having fun. So just stop doing it. But even in good faith that you're trying to explain, which you shouldn't, but even in good faith that you're trying to explain, they've already have the moving the goalposts in place. They know exactly what they're going to say because they've heard it all along. They don't care to hear logic. That's not that.
This is a script to them.
Yeah, this is the deal. You cannot explain logic to somebody that knows that the foundation is not even based on logic. If that makes sense. And no things and let me explain what I'm saying. If you right now the January 6th committee is doing by far since the first day, because the first day I got to admit I looked at them and went, dude, you're wasting my time. You're doing an excellent job now. You really are. And still, you either gaslight and don't show it, or it's boring and you shouldn't watch it or anything else. We already had little Tim Scott already talked about it. I ain't watched not one of those things, and all of a sudden I'm still gonna vote for Trump. Dude, fine. You're really just put there because you're a blackface who goes for that anyway. So the reason I even show this video is just to prove to you that the goalpost is always going to constantly keep getting pushed. And it's not because, and I'll use Dia's thing, it's not because they're not intelligent, because they already knew it was coming. They knew these statements was already going to be made. So here's your laminated piece of paper with all your answers, so you know what to say back. And just like what Dia's also said, it's working. So it's not them, still us. It's working. No matter how silly we make them out to be, no matter how many questions we throw out to them, no matter how you want to catchphrase or anything else, we can make fun of them all they want to, but they're the funny winners. They're the ones that's going to win.
Stripping away your rights and corrupting the system and locking down the pathway to replacing them. And they're the ones doing all of these things. So how unintelligent are they really when they have locked down most of the states? They've locked down the Electoral College. They've locked down the Senate. They've locked down the law enforcement community. They've locked, you know what I'm saying? Like, are they really that unintelligent people?
But see, I guess that's the thing that always frustrates me. We say that, and I'm not disagreeing with that statement. But what do we do when they bring up these dumb points? Just ignore them?
No, I think it's a matter of you have to decide going into that conversation what type of conversation you're in. Because I call it rhetorical fetch. That's what we used to call it in sales, right? Where they bring up an objection, you respond to that objection. They just bring up a new objection, and now you're responding to that objection. And then they go into, well, what about, and what if, and now you're basically just chasing the verbal ball, right? Once you realize that's what you're in, just stop. I mean, just stop. But like with this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is, what if this person is now running for office and they bring up, I'll use the Virginia governor's race. That's a perfect example. Okay. All that guy campaigned on was CRT. I don't know what that has to do with Virginia's unemployment rate. I don't know what that has to do with Virginia's infrastructure. But he brought up CRT and CRT and CRT and CRT. So as unqualified as the other guy was, and he was highly unqualified, he kept chasing that ball.
Right.
But it's like we're caught in between a rock and a hard place. We when they're running for office, not just your little everyday normal person, you just ignore them. But when they're running for office, do you call them out, or do you just say, hey, they're distracting you, let me make you focus on this instead?
Well, I don't know the 100% best way to answer, because I of course, like, I've never ran on that level, but I do notice that Democrats, they always want to play it safe. So Republicans don't believe in playing it safe. So they will push whatever messaging, whether it's true or not true, whatever is going to emotionally keep their people tied in or get them tied in, they speak on that. The problem with the Democrats is that they're like, oh, they're talking about CRT. I mean, yeah,
CRT.
CRT. So I now have to refute what they're saying about CRT. Well, all that does is recreate he say, she said moments. So
you're
when they
saying,
decide they want to go down and talk about CRT, and we know they don't even know what the hell it is, we also know they're only talking to a particular base. Why are we now trying to talk to their base too? What you need to do is they're talking about CRT over here, and then you say, look, what they just said about CRT is not accurate. But what I want to talk to you about is about how do we fix the funding for our schools? And this is my plan for doing this. And now you're pushing your own agenda, your own storyline. But Democrats never do that.
They never do that. That's always been my problem.
Because it's risky, right? The safest play is to play over here with what's already out there in the sound system.
But you know what happens? You end up losing because you're giving them. It's like this report that I was just reading where it said that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and all those guys literally said, hey, let's promote Trump because he's the least intelligent. We'll easily beat
the Democrats did that.
Yeah, and they underestimated what was really going on instead of saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. They just kept focusing on him and focusing on him and focusing on him and never...
Yeah, the Democratic Party.
And you just proved Theus's point.
I'm not arguing with his point, but I'm saying, how do you teeter-totter between the two? Now,
Well,
like I said, the regular Joe
Let me
Q
ask
public,
this real
I care nothing about. I'm not arguing with that guy. I don't care what he thinks. You can bounce, and I'll just block you on Facebook. But when you're running for office like our governor, so I'm going to make sure women have reproductive rights. Now, all of a sudden, he just turned pro-life. Really? Where did that come from?
From polls and sample crap.
I mean, I know where it came from, but...
Here's my answer to you, Tracy. This is why shows like this, shows like yours, shows like Tracy, websites like AITAH, this is why I do what I say, because I don't... And I'm saying this out of the kindness of my heart, because I don't want you to take it the wrong way. It's not an insult, by the way, so everybody can calm down. It's not an insult. I just want to make sure it's not taken the wrong way. What I don't want you to do is try to take this as if you argue with that person because you're trying to get to the masses. What I want you to do is fight that person because if the very least, if one person actually can hear your voice, you've changed the mind of somebody who could have been sitting on the fence.
No, I'm not saying don't fight. I'm saying how to fight.
That's it. That's it. You talk. You use your voice. This is what we do day in and day out. You don't quit. You don't be silent because you're leaving those people who are on the fence, you're leaving them to go to only one direction.
You stay on the issues instead of going into identity politics is exactly what you do. You talk, you ask somebody like, okay, I actually went to a bit of a class, how to talk to Republicans. And one of the really great questions is to ask, what is your favorite president from history? And we're saying like pre-World War II. And a lot of times people will pick up they'll go to Washington or they'll go to FDR. A lot of times it's actually FDR because they remember that something got done. So then you start talking about individual issues with your family. Do you have grandkids? Are they about to go to school? Are you good with the schools? Would you like to see anything changed? You start to just give them a little bit and then sit back, listen for a bit.
Yeah. Don't assume that the person you're talking to is less intelligent than you. That's
I would never do that.
We do it all the time, though. As on whole, never assume that someone is less intelligent than you. Know what your game plan is and execute that. And then it goes into like what Anna was just saying, which feeds into what I was saying earlier. You got to decide what you want as you go in. So if your mission is to change someone's mind or bring them over to your viewpoint, you're not going to do that with just dry facts. You're not going to out intelligent someone, right?
Yeah, that's
you know that doesn't work, because the more you make someone feel stupid, the more entrenched they get. The more entrenched they get, the less they hear from you anyway. Whether they're right or wrong, they might even acknowledge inside, oh, they're making some good points, but they're making me feel stupid, so I don't want to hear it. And then they just shut it all down, right? But like what Anna was just saying, you have to walk someone into it, which is pretty much what that reporter was doing that we watched. The guy who was like, it's because he was being walked. Like, I'm going to use your words and walk you right into it. Like when I argue with Christians. When I argue with Christians, what do? I use your language, right? If I'm talking to a Trump Republican, which I don't anymore, but
I'm just like, I don't get up on. I'm like, nah, we can't.
But I used to.
Well, that's just a group.
But remember when I was talking about the different things about the grievances and the different groups that comprise the Trump base, and I made it a point to bring up the flyover country type people. It's because if you really want to reach these people, you got to give them something. They're not wrong just for the sake of being wrong. They're wrong because that side gave them the most that could get them somewhere.
Yeah, that's true too.
Like when your people talk about black people who like 95% support Democrats, we're the most pragmatic group. Now I'm being biased, but we're like the most pragmatic group in America. We don't vote Democrat because we diehard Democrats. We're voting pragmatically. We're looking at the two sides and we're saying one wants to hurt us and one doesn't care about us. I think I'm going to go with the one that doesn't care about me over the one who wants to hurt me. That's a pragmatic decision. If you would give us, America would give us a better option, a lot of black people will be like, I'm going to go over here. We just aren't being given that. So like one of my examples would be Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock is running for re-election to the Senate here in Georgia. Herschel Walker is his opposition.
Oh God, no!
But I'm not talking about it that way.
No.
My problem is Herschel Walker is proven to be factually deficient.
Well, you being real nice.
That was really nice.
I mean, I'm almost proud of you.
No, the deal with Warnock, I got to be honest with you. The deal with Warnock is, I don't think he's deficient.
No, I said Herschel.
No,
but
this is
the deal with Warnock that's so, God, I don't want to say it like this.
He's boring. He's not exciting.
I don't want to say that, but it's like Warnock.
That's what you're thinking, though. That's what you're thinking.
But why is he boring? See, he's boring because, first of all, I don't think that he has a lot of black people helping him on his campaign. That's one. Because once you're part of the Democratic machine, you get Democratic machinery.
Yeah, and the machine ain't black. Period. Right.
So he's being groomed to be non-threatening to white women. Like that's what his training is teaching him. Be non-threatening to white women. They've given up on white men because the Democratic Party has decided, well, white men are going to vote Republican. Give up on them, which I think is wrong. They've given up on black men because they're like, black men are just angry and half of them go to jail anyway, so they can't vote. That's how the Democratic Party treats us. Okay. So Warnock is playing to a very particular group.
Yep, he's got to get black women and white women to vote for him.
And everything he says is extremely scripted to the point it's like annoying.
It really is.
But then Herschel Walker.
That's a better word for it, annoying. Then you have Herschel Walker who talks like
he just talks.
But here's the difference though. Here's the difference.
Herschel believes what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's saying,
but
he believes it. He believes what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's saying, but he believes it. Like in his heart, he believes it.
I don't think he believes a freaking word that's coming out of his mouth. He don't.
I do. I think he believes every word he's saying. Because he's been conservative for years. He didn't just look up and fall into conservatism.
Here's the difference between Warnock and Walker. You don't remember what Warnock said. You remember everything that Walker said.
Or tried to
You
say.
were,
you could try.
playing a Walker.
You can try. You're like, what?
No, it doesn't matter because even you, Tracy, even you have sent me video. Look at what he said. Look at what he did. Look at what he said. Look at what he did. Look at what he said and everything else. Have you sent me a Warnock video?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that is the point because Walker, he ain't got to believe anything he said. Hell, that dude don't even remember half the crap that he said. And it doesn't matter because his videos is getting out to more people and
Absolutely.
Warnock isn't.
Because he's more interesting and he seems more real.
That's
why Trump won. That's why Trump won. That's why Obama won because he was black and it was a timing issue and he was like the safe Negro. But so I'm gonna skip over him. So that's why Trump won. That's why W won, and that's why Reagan won, and Clinton too, I guess.
Yeah, Clinton came across like a regular average person.
Clinton mastered that.
Right.
Crap.
But what was it that they mastered? They mastered the ability to be approachable while being completely unapproachable. Yeah. You thought they were real people because when they talked, it didn't feel scripted. Even if it was stupid, you were like, but that's what he feels. Whereas when you have your traditional Democratic official, especially the ones that have already been in office for a little while, you don't know what you're listening to. Are you listening to the consultant? Are you listening to their handler? Are you listening to their PR team? You know, it's like.
And this is what I wish Democrats would do. I wish they would take pages out of the Republican Party's playbook and use it.
They should. That's why they're doing so well with Jan 6.
Yeah. I'm just like, take what, as much as I dislike the Republican Party, they can take an issue that doesn't have anything to do with anything and get people to talk about it. Now,
they were going to war over transgender, right?
The Republican ran campaign.
Yeah, I'm like, take the Republicans' book and use it, but turn around and do good stuff with it.
The January 6th committee is a Republican ran campaign. Gloves are off.
Well,
but you can't depend.
It's a great blend. I would say it's a great blend because they have the substance of a Democratic hearing.
Yeah, because mostly Democrats are on the.
It took those two Republicans. I'm not even going to give Kinzinger a lot of credit. It took a Cheney and her team. It took Cheney's team to be like, look, we're going to do this thing. We can do it with all the details and stuff that y'all like to do. But I'm going to tell you about my people.
Thank you. They trying to listen all that.
You need to make sure almost everybody who testifies comes from our side. You need to make sure that when it's time to name names, you name names. That's Cheney.
Thank you.
Because the Democrats would have got up there and had a bunch of Democrats up there trying to testify.
I'm going to tell you why I said that it is a Republican-ran committee because as soon as they released those names, I went, that's Republicans. Why did I even say that? Because Republicans are going to go, well, we said that there's going to be some names, and here it is. Democrats will be the ones sitting on the sideline going, well, we got names.
My friends across the aisle.
No,
we got some names.
That's
you
where
want to know the names? We may tell you the names. We're not sure that you want to know the names, but we may tell you the names. Wait. Are you sure you want us to tell? See, that's the Democratic side is they do this whole
pit pat nicey nice.
We may tell you the names. Are you sure you want us to tell you the names?
No, I'm hearing the names.
Tell us the names.
Jim, Bob, Daniel, and Tiffany. That's their names. But here's and that's the one thing that I criticized Nina Turner's campaign on, is she went to this whole, Susan, I agree.
There are definitely a few stopping points.
It's something between his brain and his mouth. I'm like, ooh, the message.
But I want you to stop real quick before you even say anything else. Just stop. Because I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way.
But I'm going to forget my point.
You don't worry. Don't worry. You're going to have a brand new point. Because I'm going to start off with this.
I wanted to hear what Tracy was going to say.
I'm going to start off with brand new. The thing is, you talk like 50 doggone minutes of this show.
I said I wanted to hear what Tracy was going to say.
So, Tracy, you already got a fan. And that was from one arm. So now he done went to something else. So we just everybody, Theus, sit back in your chair. Sit back in your chair.
No, you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
Please.
And he did it anyway. Look how he said, "You're not gonna
And
tell me what to do."
Anna, you go ahead and relax.
He said, "Please."
Just relax, because this is all Tracy.
This
Trust
is all
me when I say what I'm going to put up here.
Okay. Thank you. That's exact. You better tell it like it T.I. is. Yes. 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 I'm all the way, all day, every day. Yes. Because I'm so tired. This is, and back to my original point, because now I remember it. Why I wanted to criticize, the one thing I criticize Nina Turner for, India Walton for, is when you call out corrupt politicians, call their names. Don't go to this dark money. Nope. Go to Anthem gave my opponent $20,000 to vote against Medicare for all. Stop with these vague.
Anna to lay back. She done went to sleep.
Vague.
I'm here.
You come back, Anna, so you can see what I just put up here. So
these vague things that the Democrats do that drive me crazy. You got to play. Of course, the third party candidates don't get a chance to do this.
Nah, Atlanta. No. I don't need you to get scared. Nah, bro. No, you in this. You started
We
this.
got you.
They do, because I'm like, yes, I'm doing a whole form on third party, so you know I'm in. I am in. I don't care. I'm like, if I can rock with your policies, except for Republicans, I just don't see myself voting Republican. But if there's a Democrat who I'm sure is leftist, I'm gonna vote for them. But if I don't see it, I will vote third party all the time. I did it for president. I don't care what Theus is doing. My vote, my choice, and I'm making my choice.
Man, let me get.
I don't voter shame people. If you want to vote for a party that doesn't advocate for you, that's you. I want to vote for someone, at least if I know they get in, they're going to do something. Now, sure, they may not ever win. Okay, that's fine. But I'm more comfortable voting with my conscience than anything else. Especially
Sometimes
if
not voting is your voice.
Well, voting's my voice. I'm not talking about non-voters, because I'm like, hey, y'all stop complaining about stuff because you ain't even got no strength in the game. What you talking about? You don't do nothing.
Mathematically, it's almost the same thing. So
no, it's not.
I respect your decision, whichever way you decide to go. I would prefer that you vote, but if you don't vote, can you please be doing something?
Yeah, do something. Organizing your community. Do a protest. Do a rally. Yeah. Don't
you ain't got to vote. I would rather you vote. You ain't got to vote. But if you don't vote and you ain't doing nothing else,
yeah, shut up. Like, you'll be quiet. But that we agree on. But if you're comfortable voting for a party that don't, that's you. Do you, boo? I'm gonna do me.
Yes, take your little penny and flick it into the pool, and make sure that you wish really hard.
Because people who work for third parties, we work very hard to get our candidates on ballot.
You do. Flip that coin. Wish, my people. Wish.
It's just the repressive media that keeps us off the ballots.
Yes,
but of course, the
media.
Democrats and the Republicans team up to do that through legislation. But hey, I'm just here.
Yes. Evil media, evil parties. And I actually agree with both of those statements.
He is still going to keep talking.
Gotta lay back down.
Because I'm with you, Anna. I want to too.
Y'all know I'm right.
So anybody?
Yes, I am. I'm 100% correct.
You're 100% right for you. You're correct.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I don't voter shame. If you want to vote for Biden, if you want to vote for Trump, okay, I don't agree with you. I mean, if you want to vote for a racist piece of garbage, hey, that's you. But you not going to tell me how to vote. Oh, no. Oh no, that don't happen on no.
Do y'all remember at the beginning of this show when Tracy's went, I wish this was a real short show because I'm really tired.
I know, but now they got energized. I'm energized now.
What happened?
I got energized because y'all done sit here picking on me because I vote third party.
You know,
Oh no!
Shoulder, a little piece of shoulder. You don't lost your doggone mind. So we gonna.
Hey, I had to put my sensor on, and it had to go on before I went to bed. Do I have to show y'all my sensor?
I never see your sensor.
Hey, don't get the public all stirred up again, Tracy. Don't get
That's a sensor. You get stirred up for my fat arm and a sensor.
So
something really wrong with your standards.
You already showed your sensor. It wasn't much a mathematical issue if people didn't do it like you said. These people don't like black people and those that don't care. Be brave and tell them to kiss off and let them get some church. Yeah. Those are the people. Those are the people who sit there and this is me. This is me just speaking. And it was already been said on this. When you don't do, and sorry for the Atlanta because this is how I speak, and I'm tired and I just don't care no more. I really feel the people who don't do shit compared to politics, but you the one that bitches the most. Please shut the fuck up. I can't say it no flatter than that. You don't march, you don't organize, you don't talk to people, anything. I don't talk politics. I rather figure out what the next album coming out is and everything. And trust me when I say this, I grew up on it don't matter who you vote for. They've already picked who they was gonna get. I grew up on that. If
I
you
still
don't
hear that.
Positively nothing towards politics, and you come to me going, you see how they mess up the world, please move your ass out of my way because I'm not holding a conversation with you because you didn't help in any kind of way, shape, or form to try to change anything. Please go sit your ass down in four corners. I don't care what you have to say. You are a waste of my breath. And you're too close to me and you're taking my breath away. So I need you to go sit at the furthest corner.
Take my
dig a hole.
Yeah, those are the ones that will always get me.
Sleep is
overrated. No, it's not.
I'm worried about ass. I'm worried to go to bed.
Sleep is underrated.
Third parties and diabetic party.
Yes, that's right. All day, every day.
Yeah, they're diabetic party. They too hopped up on candy.
A lot of the last election question, people who said I'm voting for the lesser of the two evils.
Oh boy, I can't stand that statement. Oh, I can't stand it.
You don't have to like it. What's untrue about it? What's not true about it?
It's not right.
It's not wrong. Like I said,
I refuse to.
One group is
that's an emotional response. What's the rational response?
The rational response is there's a third option. There's
always
a third option.
You on the ground.
What's the third option?
Hold on, Thetis. One group is trying to put you on the ground. The other party is trying to put you under the dirt.
That's right. So then you go to the
evils. That's survival.
I disagree. I definitely disagree.
I know it's late, but I just would love to hear one day the actual rationale how you play that one out.
I feel like this is voter shaming. You can't tell a person.
I'm not shaming you. I'm asking you to help me understand.
No, but why vote third party? Maybe one because I actually like the third party candidate.
Okay.
Maybe
Tracy, this is what I said to you This is what I said to you yesterday, and I'll repeat it. I don't have a problem with you voting third party. The problem that I have with you is when the third party don't win, y'all dump him instead of pushing it so much that his name is constantly on everybody's mind to the point where the next election comes up, it's on the forefront of everybody's mind till you do it. But y'all just have this thing where y'all say, oh, you lost this one. Go on to the next third party. You got to rebuild again. And it's like, Ralph Nader, where is he?
Ralph Nader is almost 90.
That's not my question. Where is he?
He's almost 90.
But he should have somebody behind him. Like what came behind him? Or
Jill Stein.
But, yeah, okay. So why aren't there people beating.
Well, she decided
bushes
not
for
to
her.
run, and then it went to, and I'm talking in terms of Green Party. It went down to the guy who I voted for, which was Howie Hawkins. That's who I voted for.
Oh, I never heard of him.
Because
But
I couldn't. There was no way. I was like, okay, I'm looking at two men, both accused of sexually harassing women. Well, which one do I go with? I'm like, nope. That was me.
That's fine. And I would classify that as an emotional response, which is a fair response. I'm just saying, like, what is it that you actually are trying to achieve with that approach? And if the approach is just so that I feel better about my vote, then that's enough. That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna still send her money, Susan, but I did not like the way she ran her campaign. I'm like, nah, you got to name them suckers. Punch them in the mouth.
That's a whole nother discussion I would love to have as well. But
we will definitely have that discussion tomorrow. But we put it the hell on because I got to go to bed.
Are you okay?
Y'all grumpy.
I should have never told you that, Tracy.
He went straight Martin. How you gonna invite everybody to your house and then kick them out?
I should have never told you that. That's what about irking little statements that don't.
But now I use it all the time. Like, yeah. Hey, I didn't say regardless. So I mean,
because it's not a word.
It's in the dictionary.
Irregardless is
regardless.
Regardless is not in any book nowhere.
Nope.
But people use it all the time.
And they need to stop. Just like the people who say ambulance. They need to stop. We need to stop these people.
That's because we can't say it properly.
Ambulance is not the word. These people must be stopped.
What do we say instead? What do we say?
Marlon, play the video. Please.
No, stop.
Please play the video.
Stop. If you don't know how to say the word, and you definitely don't even know the definition of the word, stop saying the word.
Well, we know the definition. We just can't. Our mouths don't catch up to our brains.
Then call the emergency bus.
Or the short one. Next video.
What would you do if you came home and I was in your room?
Listen to me very carefully. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you got in here. That's not really important, though. What is important is that you understand that right now, in this moment, you have never been in greater danger than you are right now. She'll scalp us both and laugh as she does it. She dreams of this scenario. I'm begging you, whatever window you came through, find it and crawl back out now.
He did too much talking. I would have walked in the door and be like, I don't know how you got in here, but you need to get out of here. Walked back out the door, went straight to my wife and said, there is a woman in this. I don't know what's going on. I'm about to call the police right now. You ain't killing us both. You ain't getting us all killed. Not today.
What does
she was attractive. She was a pretty woman.
This is the deal with me. Because I look at these videos and I just want people to be honest. And they're not. It's cute. That's what the point of the video is, to be cute to begin with. But I just want some more reality in it. I don't care how cute you are as a woman, how attractive you are. I don't even care if your doggone boobs are hanging out or whatever. You do you. If I walk into a room and there's a woman who I don't know standing there in all her glory, whatever, however you want to put it, the first thing that everybody is going to say is, what the fuck? How did you get in my house? Who are you? Get the hell out. We could have removed the wife and everything. Like I said, that's the cuteness of it. Yeah, my wife is going to kill you. No, my thing is, when I left the house with my wife, there was 0 people in here. When I came back, there was 1 extra, and you wasn't it. I'm going to need you to get the hell out of my house. Now, granted, I, as a man, am not going to lay my hands on you because that's how I was brought up. I was brought up by a bunch of women. I'm not going to lay my hands on you. However, and what y'all fail to understand is, I don't have to, because I know who will put their hands on you. And being of 20 years being with her, it ain't going to be pretty. I'm holding a conversation with you saying you need to get the hell out of my house. My wife is not going to hold that conversation with you. I promise you. There's not going to be a word that comes out of her mouth.
Yeah, my point is, I don't want both of us getting hurt, though.
It don't matter.
If something happened to you, that's your problem.
I'm leaving out the room. I'm going to Foxy. I'm telling them what the situation is. There's going to be a whole bunch of furniture moved. And then there's going to be a crash maybe because it depends on what mood she in. She may be going out the door and the front door, or she may just be going out the closest window. I don't know what mood she in. What did she eat before we came home? Is she full? Is she hungry? Is she angry? I don't know what the situation is going to be. All I'm going to do is stay in the living room, mind my own business, and let whatever happens, happens, because I don't want to be a part of this. I wasn't a witness to anything other than saying this. Well, sir, do you know what happened in the room? Absolutely not.
I don't see nothing. I don't know nothing, because snitches get stitches.
You can't make me testify against my wife. But I'm saying, one, well, my wife, she ain't no fighter. So it'd have been more like close the door, hold it so that she can't get into the house, because obviously this person crazy. And then call the police. Because I'm already going to have to deal with the fact of who is this woman? How did she know where our house was? Why is she in our house? Even though this is a crazy person who snuck in our house while we were both gone, I have no doubt that my wife is still going to be like, well, what made her choose here? Yeah.
Call 911 first. You got to record
it. That's actually smart. Call first.
You got to do what you got to do, because here's the deal. It was a nice, pretty... Hold on. Here's the deal.
What would you do if you came home and I was in your room?
I'm like, girl, get out my house.
That's a pretty picture.
She ain't my type, but she's...
That's not who you going to bed with. Now make a decision. That's not who you finna lay down beside after this whole situation. Plus or minus, whatever you decide to do, that's not who you finna go to bed with.
You ain't gonna be laying down beside nobody tonight, homie, because your wife on her way to jail and this woman on her way to the hospital. So you're sleeping alone tonight regardless.
My wife, I guarantee you, my wife ain't going to jail. Can't go to jail if you can't find a body.
Now Marlon talking about...
So now Marlon talking about killing somebody and hiding the body.
Wow.
Yeah, YouTube, please don't take him to his channel down. He was just joking. He was joking.
He just, ha.
It was a bad
silly,
joke.
Marlon. You're so silly.
Tonight on the 11 o'clock news, North Carolina sheriff is trying to find...
What would you do if you came home and I was in your room?
I would still say, girl, get your stuff out my house.
My only mission is get Amy out my house. That's my only...
How you gonna name her Amy?
Mission. That's my only mission.
Then gave the girl...
I had to give her a name.
You could have said Heather or...
You call her Aspen? I need to get Aspen out my house. You know? But she gotta get out of the house. That's my only mission. Ain't gonna be having.
But wait a minute, let's flip this situation. And what if she were, I don't know, a little heavier, a little less what y'all call attractive?
She gotta get the hell out of my house.
No, but would your wives have the same reaction?
Hell yeah, my wife would. Let's say.
Why is there another woman?
There's a woman in this house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you have.
Yeah, she do need a sandwich, but
Thank
I'm
you.
just
She
saying,
really does. I'm like this girl.
No, look.
He gonna bury the body. Bury it.
He didn't say bury. He just said you ain't gonna find it. So that's
You
another
ain't gonna-
problem.
That's just assuming she's gonna not go to the hospital, not be injured.
I know my wife, and I know
She
the
would
outcome.
never kill
Y'all take it
somebody.
whatever y'all want to take it. Y'all, you. All
I'm
I
less
know
concerned
is-
about that. Tracy, it ain't even about her taking the person out. It's about Marlon has just disclosed that he has a plan to help get rid of a body.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Baby, you did the work, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up right quick.
Yeah, we're gonna clean up the evidence because we don't say nothing. They don't know nothing.
Make sure you get underneath the nails. Gotta clean underneath the nails, baby.
Famous police departments around the world catchphrase. I'm going home to my family.
Okay.
Burying bodies.
Amy gotta get out of my house. That's all I'm saying. She gotta get out of my house. I don't need no dead white woman in my black house. Okay, I just need her out.
Your Honor, I have no idea what Francesca is.
Francesca! Oh my
I'm
goodness,
just
y'all
thinking-
giving this child names.
I heard that there was somebody who needs to eat, and she slipped through the cracks of the door that was locked. And the next thing I know, I showed up and she was standing there. I don't know what happened after that.
All right, look, officer, I would like my attorney.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. It may sound guilty, but oh well, you don't talk to. Nope, I want an attorney.
My attorney.
They say she look like a Stephanie to me.
See, I really think it's more like an Aspen. I really am getting like an Aspen.
She's just a girl, literally.
Maybe an April.
Hold on. Hold on.
What would you do if you came home and I was in your room?
Brittany.
Nicole.
It's Brittany.
Nicole.
That's Brittany.
She looked like a Heidi.
I don't know. I don't get Heidi out of that.
Heidi?
Because Heidi would have natural blonde hair, and her hair is obviously
Tied. She's got a coloring issue.
Either way, she gotta get out of my house.
But it depends. Like, I'm a single woman. If I found a man in the house.
Girl, told by no doubt. So her name is Gwen. Okay.
No, because there's black women named
like
Gwen. I know 4 or 5 black women named Gwen.
There are black women named Amy. But I'm just saying,
Amy.
Get out my house.
Look, I know one black girl named Ashley.
Man,
Well, Ashley Banks.
Well, that's my daughter, Ashley. She ain't grow up to be as cute as you thought she was gonna grow up.
Ooh, Ashley Banks?
Yeah,
she looks exactly the same.
Is beautiful.
That's the point, Tracy. She didn't. She just looks like, okay, you cute, and now you still look like you was cute when you was little.
She looks older.
She is beautiful.
But she is.
Tatiana Ali is beautiful. I don't
She
know
sure
nobody.
is.
Yes.
Gwen Eiffel. Just remember that
about
name. Gwen Eiffel. He said, did you know a black person named Gwen? I was like, yes, Gwen Eiffel.
Apparently, there was a black woman named Amy Garvey. She's a feminist black nationalist. She did, though.
You know what? This is for the people that's new to this show. And by the way,
she was the first wife of Marcus Garvey.
Yes, she was.
Did this dude just Google black?
How many times was Marcus Garvey married?
Only twice.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, I Googled black women named Amy, and she's the only one I got.
What did that tell you, folks?
Ain't
She
too many of
looks
them
like-
out there.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember her name last week because I had an episode stuck in my head where Will took over the radio station to play her single on repeat. Oh yeah, that was Ashley. That was Ashley Banks.
Ashley Banks. Hillary was my boo. But
I'm not
Hillary-
even going to ask you why you think of the Fresh Prince a lot. So
He might like the show. A lot of people seem to like that. I didn't really like the show, except I loved Hillary.
What?
Oh, I loved Hillary.
I love that
No,
show.
we didn't like
Except
the
for
show.
when they did the Vivian switch. I'm like, nah, yeah, no.
That's early.
But
But
after that,
I just never really was feeling the show. But we've had that conversation.
My phone is about to die, guys.
I'm trying to close down the show, but these people are talking about.
okay. It's your show.
I've got it plugged in and it's still going down.
Oh yeah. If you switch the name to a non-traditional spelling, you can get a couple.
He was Shredder.
He sure was.
We're gonna shut it down because we
Amy
wait
out
3
of
o'clock
the
hours. So
Get
Tracy,
Amy
tell
out
everybody where they can find you.
Oh, okay. So you can find me at TracyMediaLLC.com. My Patreon, my upcoming events, everything is there. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to use this opportunity to plug BoreliaEtc.com. Borelia? Did I get close?
You got it.
You got
Awesome. And TracyMediaLLC.com. Check those out. And then make sure you come back tomorrow. Same spot, same place, but at 8 p.m. And check out Marlon with Radical Truth Power. So make sure y'all do that. And that's it.
Anna,
That's everything. What do I have left to say?
Say it better. It's yours.
BoreliaEtc.com with a show called Straight from the Heart.
and she's being modest. Please check out Straight from the Heart on YouTube. Those shows are really phenomenal, really educational, and I guarantee you that you will learn something from it that you didn't even think that you need to know from it. So please don't. Please check those videos out. You will find me tomorrow, Radical Truth to Power, the main show at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate everybody that came out to the show because I would love to announce, because I don't know how much it would be tomorrow because people are a-holes and they can change it. I would love to announce for the first time ever on any of our shows, we have double-digit likes on our show. So that means the show is being put out there for people to watch, and I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart that the show is growing. It is. When I saw it, it almost brought a tear to my eye. I held it off because I saw it earlier today, and I didn't want anybody to go stop crying with your little ass. So I did. But it is double-digit likes on the show. We have yet to get double-digit views, but we did get up to 9 views at one point. We just needed one more person. So we are growing.
Hey, thank you to the lady from yesterday. I can't remember exactly how her name was. And thank you, Atlanta Thrasher, for hanging out with us this evening as well. You know,
Jonda?
gotta make sure you give the
Jonda?
Jonda or something like that.
Just Jonda, something like that.
Just John, I believe, yeah.
But thank you, and then thank you to the whole family that continues to support us. They support all of us. You know, Susan, Mickey. I'm missing somebody's name. Name. D. Thank you. You know, thank you for everybody. If I miss your name, please charge it to my head, not to my heart. But I really do appreciate that. We all appreciate it. So
I really, really thank y'all so much, because this is a year in, 2 years for me, but I'm not even going to sit there and complain that this, for us, this is a year in the making, and we are growing. beyond what I thought that we would grow. But tomorrow we're gonna get right back in to the abortion with Roe versus Wade being overturned. I'm probably not even gonna have a lot of videos because what's the point? We already know what happened. Ain't no use putting a whole bunch of stuff up there. So please tune in tomorrow, Radical Truth to Power on this station. In Atlanta, don't worry about it because I will be broadcasting it on Twitch, which is where you're from, so you'll be able to see it too. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.